Paddock. My name is Joe. I'm here today with Casey, a very happy Stephen Howson, and Damien. And after a few technical difficulties, we are here ready to watch the Man United versus Tottenham pre-season game. It's there in Shanghai. Look at it. We've got the team news, but you've probably seen that already. We'll quickly race through that with more technical difficulties in the background already.
Someone's going to die today.
Someone's going to die today, aren't they? Yeah, we'll go quickly through the team news. What do you think of the team, lads?
Shite, let's be honest. It's also not going to be a Premier League 11. Clearly, getting minutes into legs, probably trying something.
We'll have a quick run through then. So we've got...
No, I was just going to say, you...
Yeah, we've got De Gea in there. We've got Wan-Bissaka again at right back. Seem to have cemented that place a little bit now.
Really?
I mean, we've got Chris Smalling, Marcus Rojo as well, the jack of all. And we've got Ashley Young at left back. We've got Andrea Pereira and got McTominay as sort of holding midfielders, we think. And then we've got Greenwood, Pogba, and Dan James all in behind Martial up front. This again, Martial's started as that middle striker in 3 of these games now. I
think that's the role that they're looking for. I think obviously with Lukaku leaving, they need another central striker to fill in the gap behind Rashford, and I think that's the role playing going into next season.
Well, news broke a couple of days ago that Ollie was going to try and implement a Martial more in the number 9 role. Try and see if he can Rashford out.
Suits Rashford. I think he works harder off the ball. Tony does, and if you're going to allow and have 1, maybe 2 positions more of a pass press. Oh, it is that. Better than he was on Mourinho press. I mean, look at this here now. He's pressed all the way back into first goalkeeper.
But it's almost as though Solskjaer is moving Martial away from a place where he doesn't. And is it the case that he thinks he's best at number 9? Is he finding a way out of the problem?
Is, on the ball, Tony Marshall's absolutely by the whole Tony Marshall sort of thing. It's the rest of his game where he's got to level up because he does swan around the place a little bit, and maybe that's because when dribble is for a guy.
The ball sticks his feet.
I mean,
and he's finishing.
Yeah, I mean, when you see Martial, he's a player that likes to be on the ball. When you look at, obviously, Greenwood and Rashford, their off-the-ball movements a lot better than Martial. And I think that's something that under the system Solskjaer wants to play, he's going to have to improve quite
I think that's
greatly.
one of the reasons that Mourinho seemed to just fall out with Martial, because he does seem... early on. He does seem... I don't know whether it's unable or unwilling or what, and I don't know whether it's just he's unfortunate that he's got like resting lazy face. Like he just looks like he's not arse.
I mean, for ages they were like, is Martial gonna actually crack a smile? Even when he scored, he just looked like he was completely.
Is there any pirate in this? Is there any pirate in this? Can I have one with a pirate?
The pirate in.
Do an actual glass.
He's in need of rum already.
Yeah, can I have in a tumbler like a fucking adult as well? Can we have that for start?
I have adults on this show. This
Jesus
is
Christ.
by children.
Professional red cups.
It's like an American house party with these red
exactly.
cups.
Yeah, we've got the red cups. It's very much in contrast to the vibe behind the camera, which has been absolute carnage until we went live. So we're here like we're just partying.
Can I just say, absolute massive shout out to Gigabit Telecom as well, because I emailed them at it's actually 13 minutes to 10, and they was installed by 12. Now that is what you call customer service. Yeah. So I would just like to say on behalf of Manchester, fuck you, Virgin.
Well, like give
and
a
just
shit
lost
Telecom,
another customer.
Right? They give a shit about us, don't they? Give a shit Telecom. That's what we call it. Yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare, hasn't it? Really. But we're here, we're live, we're watching the game
on new internet.
Eventually.
Fresh shine. It's got still got that new internet smell going on as well.
Yeah, it has.
We've got
Andres Pereira. That's the ball you've got to put through there for Tony.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest things I'm seeing from Pereira is that final touch that's missing from. I feel like sometimes decision making just isn't there. If he does get that sorted, though, I would like to see him start a bit more.
But I think it's hard, though, isn't it? He's
still young.
So he's basically at that point now where it's now or never for his career. He's kind of been out on loan.
How many times were we out on loan? 3 times?
I'm not quite sure. He was at Valencia last season, I'm pretty sure, and he kind of played a bit of a weird one, bit out on the right sometimes, bit in the midfield. So it's kind of, he needs to find his role in the team, I think, and he also needs to kind of cement himself.
That's twice with the press again of United has dispossessed Tottenham, obviously.
Oh!
talking about that. And it was with his weaker foot as well.
Yeah, and it's strange because Tottenham look sloppy to me already. But that's twice already they've given the ball away in their own half. They've got quite an inexperienced defence as well. I mean, Vertonghen in there, but other than that, it's quite
Vertonghen, and there's Kyle Walker-Peters who's played more games, but then the other two are kind of unknowns. There's Tanganga and Georgiou. Georgiou is probably the more experienced 22-year-old Cypriot, so a bit of an exotic nationality.
One of my favourite nationalities.
He went, I think he was on loan in Levante last season. Yeah, and then the other player is just basically a reserve player. He's coming for this game. So
that's what it's all about, I suppose. But it's always a strange one when you play other Premier League teams in pre-season as well, like because it's hard to know how much to take from it. Because sometimes you think, oh, we just beat Tottenham.
I believe it's pissed down each hardcore, and you can see it on the pitch as well. Look how bad it's cut up in places. It's like it's about as hard as butter.
It's been a recurring thing though. The pitch that we've played at on all 4 pre-season games have been awful. Players slipping all over the place.
Oh, that was
And James again playing on the left hand side seems like he'll just play wherever Solskjaer needs to, doesn't it? Either side, especially if Martial's pushing up to the centre. And we've got Sanchez obviously, but he's injured or.
Well, when you have Martial, who's probably not played striker naturally for a while, and you've got Greenwood out on the right, who's a naturally striker, you're probably looking for a bit more of an interchange.
Which I think we've seen recently is that front three is very fluid. Game against Leeds particularly, so Greenwood, Martial, and interchange all the time. But I want to see how Dan James does more on the right hand side.
Yeah, I think
that's our weakest position.
It's interesting as well putting Rashford top because he's been playing as a striker since Solskjaer came in. So now we've got Rashford, Martial,
Jesus
and
Christ,
Lukaku.
Dele Alli, you are a fucking shithouse, aren't you? Like this is a pre-season game.
To be fair,
you're a fucking idiot, mate.
I'm surprised he took it as early as he did, to be honest.
Well, but that might be the best option.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not far off, is he?
No, yeah.
I mean,
we've been so hesitant though with finishing. That's good to see people instinctively shoot.
Well, taking it at the first opportunity rather than trying to walk it past the. I like that they've gone for China right underneath.
Yeah,
well, that's kind of cool. We did that in Thailand, I think, somewhere like that. Definitely done it recently. That was an excellent touch. It was a really nice touch.
He's getting doubled up on there. It's hard to. I think last season as well, the amount of times when we had the ball, especially on the left, where either the winger or the fullback could have it, that corner of the 18-yard box and back pass. It'd be nice to see if we try and go past the fullbacks a little bit.
Well, I think that across the pitch, like switching it, is something that they're looking to do because they just we just saw it before an overhit one the first time from Pogba, but that time seemed to be inch perfect, and James took it down really well.
Yeah, my worry is though that we don't have enough players who can make that pass
we don't
consistently.
have enough
That's why
players
I think Pogba's so important in this system, playing a little bit deeper. I think his passing ability is what's going to be able to allow us to switch the play and overload down the sides that we're trying to do.
Player of pre-season so far? Is it even? Oh, sorry, I'll rephrase that. Who's been the second best player on
behind Wan-Bissaka?
Yeah.
I would maybe say.
Actually, McTominay.
Yeah. He did a couple of those. We were
Mason Greenwood with an excellent shaped ball.
Bang it.
I thought Pogba was going to volley one.
We were at the game in.
Hey, we was, wasn't we?
Of course.
High five.
We were there.
Casey and I were near. High five.
I can't reach. No, okay.
A similar ball to the one he just played, and I turned to you and said, "It's nice to see McTominay play."
That was
it across the box, but it was blocked.
Was that Vertonghen who cut that out? Yeah.
To be honest with you, Greenwood.
I'd rather he was honest.
Yeah, I think he's been the most impressive. Surprising, maybe, but I mean, people expect a lot from him.
Any time that Greenwood's been on the pitch, I wouldn't say he's always been the best player on the field, but I think he's surprised me with how consistent he has been in front of goal, especially.
I mean,
I was just gonna say my score prediction for the day. I think we're probably gonna get a draw of this, but I want to see Greenwood get on the score sheet again. I'm pretty sure everyone does. It's gonna be interesting to see if we're going to be able to keep up that consistency.
I mean, go on then, give us your score prediction then. If you're going for it, you can't just say draw.
2-2.
Give some numbers.
2-2. 17-2.
17-2.
17-2.
I mean, if you'd asked me before the game, I probably would have said it'd been a lot closer.
17-2, wouldn't you? But now he's taking.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I can't copy it.
Like copy it, but don't make it look.
No, I'd say 2-1 United. I think they've started well, and I think that it'll be because they're both trying to play pressing games. I think it'll be a case of fitness and the fact that United have had more time to prepare. And I think that'll be what'll win out in this game.
How often do you guys think the back four is going to stay this way with Rojo in the back end?
He's played quite a big part so far pre-season, hasn't he, Rojo? I'm surprised that he's... well, I'm not surprised, but I would have been shocked. No, what am I trying to say? I don't think Rojo was going to play this much, and he's played pretty much every game so far. I think that may be a slight knock to Luke Shaw or some tightness that he's feeling in his hamstring or whatever they said. I'm surprised he's played this much. He hardly played last season.
No, he did. Well, the issue I have with Rojo, even though
this looks
I feel,
like this looks
it's
dangerous.
a 1-0. There we go.
Oh,
Safe from there. Yeah. But with Rojo, I feel like sometimes he displays some on the ball characteristics that we've missed. And then you see his rash tackles.
Yeah,
and it takes him out of the game completely.
I think that's why he keeps getting the game, because this system is so not reliant, but it definitely flourishes with a defence that is comfortable on the ball more than any other system that we've played in the last few years. Like Van Gaal's system was a lot of passing across the back, easy passes that anyone can make. Mourinho obviously didn't rely. Well, I mean, who really knows what that system was, but didn't necessarily rely on ball-playing defenders. Whereas I think one of the reasons Rojo has been, it looks like he's going to stay, I haven't heard of him leaving, is that he can at least play on the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got some qualities on the ball that people like Smalling and Jones don't have, even though I would say Smalling is a better defender than Rojo. I think the fact that he can come out with the ball and he can pick a pass at least a little bit.
It's useful, especially.
Is what's giving him this game time.
I feel like
I'm surprised to see it, to be honest.
I feel like Smalling is like when you say the best of the rest in terms of you have Lindelof and then
everyone else.
I think it's an absolutely massive drop off after Lindelof. I think for in terms of quality of what you've got on. I think what's really interesting in this game that we're seeing at the moment is that you're seeing what I think, Casey, at least the start of this, is that you're seeing two teams that are going at this with a Premier League sort of tempo. You're seeing United have gone for it a little bit. I mean, what have we had in terms of shots so far? Has everyone got a shot count? Feels like we've had a couple at least, 2 or 3. So I think that we've had a couple of shots. They've been inside our box. Some of the tackles that are flying in for this are an absolute joke.
Dele Alli actually got booked in pre-season. That's an interesting one there.
He's a bit like that though, isn't he?
He's got that bell-end, man. He's an absolute.
Which you would like if he was on your team.
If he's on your team, if he was on the opposition.
Exactly, yeah.
But don't even get me talking about
no shame about it whatsoever. The guy is absolute.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a bit of an interesting one seeing Herrera leave. I think obviously we talked about it before, but in this system where we need, he could pass the ball. He's got the legs and he can get up and down in the way that.
Can I have a fucking rum and coke? By the way, like I've tried to hint at it here.
He needs alcohol.
It's gonna be minus the coke in a bit. It's just gonna be drinking straight rum.
Out the bottle.
Who's gonna help out?
Swaying
got an angry house on their hands.
I feel weird watching a fucking match sober at the moment.
I feel like in terms of Herrera leaving, I feel like
why there, Greenwood? Why does Marshall always pass it behind someone?
Yeah, I know.
I think he's just used to it. After what's going on with Van
Gaal,
Dan James. He play a lot of movements going backwards. Van Gaal,
good ball in it. That's your range. I feel like in terms of when you look at the sort of players that could have replaced Herrera, Tottenham kind of got the perfect replacement. Like they bought Ndombele for 63 million in that time.
Ndombele is an excellent signing for Tottenham. We actually recorded a video with Full Time Devils about. It was about 4 days before Ndombele signed for Tottenham, and it took them that long to get it edited and get it out that they hadn't put it out. Me saying like, if you could pick anyone, who would you sign? At the time, I was thinking you're trying to preempt like who's probably going to have signed by the time this goes out, and I'm like, well, I actually expected Maguire to have been completed by then. And Ndombele was what I thought would have been the next one in for everybody.
Is that who you guys think is the next key player that we need, or do you think maybe Bruno Fernandes would be more useful?
I think I don't know enough about Bruno Fernandes. Honestly, I've seen the stats, I've seen highlights, but I haven't sat and watched 20 90-minute games of his. It's hard to know in that league where it's not that difficult. I mean, it's difficult. It's always difficult for a midfielder to get 30 goals, but it's not the same kind of level as it is in the Premier League. It's hard to know exactly whether he's just what we need or not. I think he looked quite good against Liverpool.
The pace and the aggression is completely different.
But with Maguire, we know what Maguire does. We know how he does it. I think a centre-back. We've obviously needed a centre-back for many years. I know we've signed Bailly and we've signed Lindelof, and Lindelof seems to have put himself as basically our defender. But I think we know what Maguire brings. We know we need that. I think that's the number one target, and for me, that's our next must-have signing is a centre-back and
Completely
Maguire.
agree.
Hopefully, yeah.
we don't get Maguire though, Casey, for you. I know you have a few players that you'd rather have than Maguire, but who would you have as a backup if we can't get Maguire?
Oh, so I mean, the one I would say would have been Alderweireld. Alderweireld is probably was the cheapest option. I mean,
He plays for Spurs as well.
he plays for Spurs.
Yeah.
He hasn't played today, but the fact is his release clause of 25.
Ooh,
that's just an
another booking
awful
coming there.
challenge. That's
gotta be another
Sissoko.
booking.
I think he's off their head or what today?
Yeah. Tottenham are like this though, aren't they? Every so often, I know it's only a pre-season game, but I think, do you know what it is? We saw it against Inter as well. I think this style of play that we've been doing, this high pressing style, frustrates teams.
Panics people.
Pisses people off. How much were Inter surrounding the ref?
Do you know what pisses me off?
After about 5 minutes.
I've asked for a rum and coke now like 5 times.
Here it is. Here comes the rum and coke.
Jesus.
Oh, here
It's coming.
See,
See, you wanted the tumbler. You
I
wanted,
wanted
the rum
a
and
tumbler
coke.
and now I get a
If you-
tall glass.
the secret
I
to
swear
life
God,
is-
at
Some
some
fancy
point,
stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't had breakfast yet. Probably shouldn't be having rum before I have breakfast.
Go straight into
I reckon
it.
that's like a motto for life, innit? Don't
Yeah.
have a rum before you've had breakfast.
Yeah, when should I start drinking?
Like, couldn't tell.
After breakfast.
After
After breakfast is usually a good
Yeah.
idea.
I think when you start putting the alcohol with the breakfast, that's when you've
That's
really
good.
made the bottom ones
Yeah,
like
yeah. Like a nice, like a rum butter on.
just JD on cereal.
Can you buy it?
Just the casual
Can't buy
life
that.
of
You
being
can
an
make
actor.
some. Someone knock up
Do you
some
ever
rum
see
butter in
what
the back.
Hunter S. Thompson like listed as?
Oh yeah,
what he has in a
the
day?
rum diary sort of thing.
Marcus
Well,
Yeah.
the
Rojo's
rum, the
standing
rum
over
diary
the
for
stew.
starters is a great book. It's a shite film, but it's a great book. I was well wounded.
What film? Sorry.
Rum Diaries.
Oh, is that the one with Johnny Depp?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the book's fantastic. There's a bit, I don't think it's in the book, it's just elsewhere, Hunter S. Thompson just listing what he goes through. I think most
that the
human
dream?
beings die.
It's basically the opposite of that Mark Wahlberg list that he released, isn't it?
When he gets to like
Wake up at
2
4,
a.m. or something.
exercise.
Like, have some protein.
That
Kiss
can't
my
be
kids on
true.
the neck.
Do you guys reckon that's true?
Exercise.
Doesn't,
No,
Mark
it's not
Wahlberg doesn't
Yeah.
wake up at 2 a.m.
I think he does.
You think he does?
Like, have you not seen his? I mean, have you seen? I was
Ashley
gonna say
Young
his
taking a
gym.
free
I
kick.
think basically he's got like.
Oh.
I think he's got a bed in his gym rather than a gym in his house. I think
So,
that's
yeah.
what the crack is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, when you look like him, with those muscles, you gotta go for it. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's got punches
training
in there as
alongside
well.
with
He's
The
only
Rock
human.
at times, so you gotta do it.
A lot though, isn't it?
It's The Rock though. He does 2 workouts before 7 a.m.
Yeah, and he's doing sustenance for breakfast.
Yeah, he's loving it.
I don't think it's
Training
worth
hard,
it.
innit?
Yeah.
I suppose if that's your whole thing, though, isn't it?
Absolutely jacked and
He's got to be jacked. What about when he's 70? How do you transition that?
Still
Where do,
should be huge.
where do
Just
those
keep-
boobs go?
Just keep your foot down on the steroid pedal all the
Do
way to
more.
the cliff.
Let's do more.
Yeah.
Do
And
more
then-
as you get older.
And then
Yeah.
you just go flying off at
And I've
60.
like one of them massive fods that.
You got to do one of those Schwarzenegger things where all of a
Like-
sudden you turn up and you just. Those are some like saggy boobs.
Mate, you're 70. I think it's all right at 70.
At that
Go for
point,
it.
you've earned it. Like, you're doing all right.
Yeah.
He's not going to be competing in like any Mr. or
Yeah, he's
Mr.
absolutely
Universe
not
competitions.
jacked and
Like.
tanned,
He'll
is he?
still be doing 6 movies a year.
Back to the game then.
Yeah, back to important stuff.
Other than that Dele Alli chance, I think we've stifled Tottenham quite well so far.
We've lost the ball too easily.
True.
I think anytime we get possession, I think right now we're struggling which route we're going because I think we've been left side dominant so far. Greenwood, I haven't seen gotten a lot of opportunities.
Tottenham were a bit panicked. I've not seen lacking composure in their passing. I mean, until that, which was a great ball. Oh my God!
You guys see that Kane goal from the other day?
Oh
Well
no,
done,
On the
Young.
Young.
halfway line.
Giving the ball away.
I think this is the first team though where we've actually seen the
Number
sort of
18, we will call
press
it.
them, as I said, them pressing back on us. Like Inter
Yeah.
and Leeds kind of sat off a bit and tried
Yeah.
to win it back when passing. But they
I expected that. I expected this from Inter. Sorry,
yeah,
I didn't. No, I expected this from Tottenham, but I expected this from Inter as well. I was like, oh, it's going to be really interesting. I didn't expect Inter to just completely sit off and capitulate the way they did. It was shit.
They were really poor. Even if it was only 1-0, it was like if you played another 200 minutes.
Oh, well
they
played.
wouldn't
Is that
have scored.
Dembele?
Yeah. Actually, no,
No, that was
that was
Sissoko.
Sissoko.
Don't worry, don't have to feel jealous yet. Sissoko.
Pereira's game
That midfield guy.
really
It's
aggressive.
weird as well. As
I like
Sissoko has
Winks is
become their
underrated.
best midfielder, and for 2 years he was just a joke of a signing. Wasn't he? Like people were saying,
Well,
that he was an
Musa-
absolute waste, and all of
York
a
and
sudden-
Cole in the crowd there.
Musa Sissoko won his transfer to Spurs on one game and one game only. That was the World Cup final. He
Yeah.
just seemed to play for the
But
move.
then he was crap for 18 months, and then just started to be really good last season. How's that
Yeah.
work?
I feel like it's just they needed a high energy midfielder, and that was
Yeah.
what kind of worked for them. They were
Yeah.
like running a lot,
After
sort of
going with
energy.
Dembele.
I mean, I also with Musa Dembele, and the fact is that they got Dembele to replace him now, and then they're looking at I think Giovanni Lo Celso, who's another one
Yeah.
who's like can pick it up and take it forward. So they're kind of looking for those replacements because I think they're not thinking that the Sissoko train's going to go on for much longer at this
He
point.
looks knackered, doesn't he? He looks like he's been on a
He's
right
been up
sesh.
all night. He's been up all night. He's been winning.
Still drunk from
that
that Paris night. Still drunk from that Paris night.
20 minutes. And not many chances. United have had the best of the.
We have had the better chances. It's just been a very open first 20 minutes. And to be fair, I sort of expected it would be open because we've got 75% terrible defence.
Yeah.
And a pretty ordinary. I mean, look at that. Rojo's just absolutely gone through the back of a Parrott there. I mean, I got to appreciate that. Do you know what I was thinking the other day? Who got clattered? Chong.
Yeah.
Chong got clattered by Skriniar, and I was thinking, there's nobody in this team that's got the stones to just walk over there and flatten someone.
No.
Remember the story Robbo was telling about, like, you know, some of the young lads get bullied on the pitch, and like he thought as England captain and United captain at the time when he was playing in reserves, I'll go over there and I'll put. You had like Scholes, Barry Neville, and David Beckham, and they was doing it themselves.
Yeah.
But you do need a figure that does that sort of stuff, and who's the guy that's going to fucking put someone?
Yeah, Rojo will do that. He'll do
I think
that.
Rojo do it.
I mean, I couldn't tell if it was Rojo or Andres Pereira with the same
hairdo.
But one of them went over. One of them,
the jammy ones. Takes his mum out.
2-footed.
Yeah.
One of them went on the other side of the pitch and just kicked Kane about 5-10 minutes ago. So I quite enjoyed that one. But
yeah, you know Rojo's going to do it,
Yeah.
even if he gets himself sent off.
Rojo's default tackle is 2-4.
Yeah,
There were glimpses of that though with Ander Herrera, I think.
yeah, there were.
Especially that aggression.
Yeah, especially those games against Chelsea where he's sort of man marking Hazard, just being an absolute arse the whole game. We don't really have anyone like that. Bailly's a little bit like that as well, but
Yeah, you need a midfielder that's got that sort of nous, that sort of chip.
Yeah.
Can't get that at centre half. And I think Maguire has shades of
that's
that.
some good
Oh,
move.
that was an excellent ball.
Martial
Finish that,
through
Tony.
there.
There we go! 1-0.
Anthony Martial.
That through his
Was that
legs.
another first time finish as well?
Yeah, it was.
So excellent ball through there for Pereira. I
Yeah.
think he might have megged someone on the way through. Tony Marshall cuts across it, gets over to it, right foot, and I think
Between the keepers.
I think it's just near post of the keeper. I think it might have ricocheted off the keeper's leg. We will see in a second. But there we go, 1-0 United. Tony Marshall with another goal.
I think that's what we said. The left-hand side was going to be the real weakness for Tottenham because obviously Vertonghen as the most experienced
Here we go, let's have a
defender
look.
and
Pereira coming in across from the left. It's an outside of the football, right on,
actually it was Vertonghen who
and
didn't.
it is
it
near
hits his
post. It's
leg.
got him near post.
Hits
This
his
is
hand.
this is a great.
So that's end on
Great finish.
Vertonghen completely loses track of where that ball's going.
That's
it's good
excellent.
as well.
And
We were
then
talking before about
that is an
Martial not
excellent
being willing
goal.
to make those runs through. Well,
That's an
he
excellent
did
run.
there.
That's an
Yeah,
excellent run.
exactly.
Can't say anything about that. That's a
No.
brilliant run. It's a brilliant.
Well
He
done.
puts it probably right at the goalkeeper, but
At that
keeper's made a
angle,
mess
at that
of it.
angle, you
When
can't
it's
do
that
anything
close,
about
made
yeah.
a
it.
mess of it. And it's
Yeah.
There's no real way to. You can't get it around the goalie. There's not too much space either side of the goalie, so you kind of have to go so close that he can't react, don't you? Which is what he did there. Obviously, the ball just hit him and went in. Yeah, nice goal.
Most impressive thing about that, I was talking about earlier with Andres Pereira's final ball right there. To put Martial through first time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's great.
yeah, it is.
He's hopefully going to see United settle a little bit now and start to really play some football because that's a.
Do you think Solskjaer's going to do a full 11 swap like he's done in the past few years
Definitely,
again?
yeah.
What at half time?
No,
Oh,
I think
60th
it'll be- I
minute.
think it'll be on the hour.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that'd be good. It's interesting. I'm kind of surprised that Young is playing. Have we heard any update on Shaw? Because he played in the last game,
Yeah,
didn't he?
Shaw's,
Came
Shaw's
on.
okay.
It's a squad management.
Yeah.
I think. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, I mean, if Shaw's been on the fitness, like same as Dan James. Oh, so in a similar way to Dan James and McTominay, Shaw's one of those ones who has to work hard for fitness. So I feel like he's kind of working off the pitch to get himself fully fit for that
I
on the
hope
pitch.
so.
So yeah,
Chris Petty in the comments has just said, who scored? Tony Marshall did, and the keeper's made an absolute error of that one. Can I just say as well, for our fan cams today, we didn't go to China because our visas were a bitch. So we didn't go to China. So we want to do the fan reaction video that we normally do. If you guys can send us your reactions, send us about 20 seconds, film it landscape, not portrait and long, film it landscape, like a YouTube video is.
stamp on it.
Absolutely nailed James
Yeah.
again. Send it to us on Twitter, at Stretford Paddock, with the hashtag Paddock Live. Your reactions to the goals, your thoughts at half-time, your thoughts on transfers, anything related to Manchester United, and we'll bang that video out tomorrow. Make sure to send those out to us.
Oh, God.
Today. Kane getting in the mix. Get Lever in.
Pereira's going for him, and McTominay. Oh,
McTominay.
He's a big
Andreas
lad, isn't he,
getting in the mix.
McTominay?
I honestly,
It's a pre-season
I
game.
thought he stood on him as he
He
walked
looked
away.
like
Then
he stood. I don't know. I don't know who it was.
The right back.
Was it the right back?
Yeah.
It looked like it was
think
a
it was
heavy
the
challenge to start with, and then it looked like there was a bit of foot action on the way out as well. But I don't
foot action. That's an interesting way of putting it.
Just Google foot action on there, and we'll have a look. See what.
Don't want to
Okay, let's leave it then. Leave it then.
I mean,
Okay.
Obviously, it's done for this.
McTominay taking up the captain's role there. Stood with the F.
Young's not happy either. I think.
No.
Hopefully,
It's
we'll
just,
get.
it's just a bit.
It might have been. I think it might have been
unnecessary,
Sissoko actually, because they keep showing. Oh, there we go. It's Sissoko.
Sissoko again.
Oh, it is
He's
Sissoko.
just
Goes
gone
straight through the back of
right
it, and
there.
then there, look, that left leg is no
He's
need for
stamped.
that.
I don't know why he needed.
Because
He does look like he's stamped
because his legs
he doesn't
staying
need to step back that
way
much.
far back there.
That's an effort to put like that far back.
Bit rough, innit? There we go.
It's pre-season,
I
bro.
know.
Relax. Andreas with a cut back there to Ashley Young on the edge of the box. And he bent it in on target, which I did not expect. I thought I was going to be saying
Well,
Rose.
bracing it for go over the bar.
Ashley Young versus Arsenal classic, that, isn't it? Every time he has that shot, it just makes me think of that game. The old 8-2.
I think we went through the team news before, but did we talk about the omission of Lukaku again? Lukaku does.
He's
It's so
injured.
transparent.
He's
It's so
injured.
funny.
so obvious.
injured.
Like,
Yeah. He's
We was at a Kohler event on Sunday, and the face on the guy was just like, this is the last thing he's ever doing in a United shirt, in it, signing autographs about bathrooms.
yeah. It was I don't know what injury he's supposed to have. Have we even heard?
No,
Have they even bothered making
no,
up a...
He's got a
body
little
part?
niggle.
His
like-
name a
all he
body
likes to
part.
say.
He's been training alone.
He's injured
He's
his
just going,
legs.
he's injured.
He's hurt his legs. He can't play. He's hurt his legs.
And
He's hurt his-
the journalists have
He's
like,
hurt his thumbs texting
they've
on the
just,
phone.
they've just gone,
Exactly.
all right, yeah. No one's even followed up. All right,
Yeah.
what injury is
What
it?
kind
Will he
of-
be ready for pre-season or
Yeah.
for the start of the season? And we're like, shut up, Ask.
Yeah. let's not do this now. All right. We all know he's going. Don't worry.
But when?
Well, when someone coughs up the money for him.
Yeah.
And I'm
Like,
actually
yeah.
glad United are being stern and stubborn on the price as well, because for too many times we see bend over.
Yeah.
We want to let someone go, we let them go, and we get nothing.
The thing with the Pogba deal that a lot of people are happy with is that we're not underselling him. If we were going to sell him, we're going to sell him for about 150 million. That's
Yeah.
what the price tag is.
Sissoko and James
Oh,
are just
again
not
there.
enjoying themselves.
James has had his way so far. Like he looks really nippy and quick compared to someone with that bulk of Sissoko, doesn't it? It's nice to see that, because sometimes it's hard when it's just fullback against winger, just sort of pace for pace. But here, look, twice James has sort of turned him and got away from him.
That's the one thing that you can say about Sissoko. He doesn't like to give up a ball. He
No.
does. If he's on his day, he'll run after him all the time. But the thing is he's just being a bit too rough, I'd say. But
And also, we were talking about Rojo playing a lot of minutes pre-season. Dan James has played a hell of a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
Considering a lot of people thought he was brought in as a backup, as a sort of one for the future, he's been one of our most prominent players in every game so far. Do you think that he's going to start at the start of the season?
Well, I think he needs time to adapt. He can't start straight away, I think. I don't know, maybe see how he does halfway through the season. I imagine he's going to be shifting in between the left and right wings. I can't see him going up in the middle, even though Solskjaer's hinted in his press conference that he can do that. That's just out of the window. But I think if we were going to sign a right winger, he should be playing on the left. But if we're not able to get someone like a Nicolas Pepe, then maybe Dan James and Greenwood could function on that right-hand side more so.
Yeah.
If we have to have somebody.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We still don't really have any right wingers other than James, if that is where he's going to be
Sure,
playing.
yeah.
He's really United's only right winger.
I mean,
And Greenwood.
Sanchez isn't there at the moment, and then obviously I think it's more of a necessity at the moment. If you're moving Martial into striking position, you don't have that many wingers.
No.
I mean, just something that we just got a wind of a couple of 45 minutes ago. Sky Sports reported that if Lukaku was to leave, going back to that Moussa Dembele is on the short list as strikers.
I quite like them, but
Yeah, he's got a natural goal scorer about him, and he does have good movement. So I feel like if he leaves, that's a sort of the right-sided attack. Maybe it's two strikers. Maybe it's moving Martial back out to the wing. You don't know, but it depends. I think it depends on signings what they end up.
What do you guys do? You think that Pepe's can be signed?
I'm not sure about Nicolas Pepe. I feel like he's a lot in terms of right wingers. It's a lot of what we already have. He's a lot like Martial. He likes cutting in, he likes scoring.
maybe that's what we want to go for.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
want to have a bit of a symmetrical attack where, guy gets down the side and he has a shot, rather than those that are creating. I think we'd all prefer something that was more one guy gets to, so maybe a more of a right-sided playmaker on the right. Maybe if you're going to have someone like Marshall. And this isn't a criticism. This is just a statement of fact. Marshall's out to score for himself. Yeah. When he cuts inside, he's not looking to lay somebody in. No. He's looking to ping it in the corner. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because that's what Ronaldo used to do on the right-hand side. But you've got to have someone that's doing the other thing. Yeah, you can't
yin
just
and
have
yang.
Everyone coming for themselves. Otherwise, don't fucking score goals. You've got to be able to make.
If you look at a lot of people we got linked with recently, there are a lot of people who like taking shots. A lot of that. So I've got Nicolas Pepe. Bruno Fernandes was another one who took a lot of shots. Is this another?
Just gone absolutely through the back of.
Is that Troy Parrott?
He's got a parrot on his
Troy
shoulder.
Parrott. And then I think Dybala got linked the other day, which is another one who's
got. Because Juve want to sell
everything.
Yeah, Juve want to sell.
I
mean, if I was to go for my own personal opinion of who I would want to sign of a playmaker at right wing, I'd probably go for Ziyech.
8 goals in pre-season, also scored or assisted academy.
Yeah, that's.
With Andreas Pereira within it. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, they've been proper shining through. They've been really showing their pedigree. So I feel like to say that the new class of '92 is a bit too much weight to put on their shoulders. I saw someone say that maybe it might be taking it a bit too far at this point. I feel like they're good. They're showing that they're good, but to say that is maybe too much pressure. Would you think?
Yeah, I think we need to bring people through.
Oh, fuck that, man! Play for Man United. If you can't fucking handle the pressure, someone.
Yeah, I don't think the pressure should affect them, but I think that doesn't, just because people say it doesn't mean they're good enough. I think whether it's pressure or whatever it is that's affecting them, we have to find out whether these players are good enough. And it's not how it was in the 90s. You can't just stick 6 of them in the first team just because we want to see it. Yeah. They have to be good enough, and we have to know they're good enough, because otherwise you're out of the top 4. You don't. Things go really badly wrong when we start losing games, as we saw at the end of last season.
Oh yeah.
I think we need to know that players are good enough before we just go on, just play. Just because you're a youth player, you can't just play because of that. You have to be good enough.
Yeah, maybe pressure was the wrong way to put it. I would have said maybe weight of expectation from the fans. Like they shouldn't be expecting, they're going to go out there and win everything.
Well, I mean, though, if you look who's in the starting lineup now? Consistently,
we got some comments. We just had a quick water break, so we'll just hit some comments. Make sure to get your comments and questions as well in the box below. We got a comment here from Partisan Nick 6, says Tony Marshall scores again. True story. Marshall, well done. I prefer him as a striker. And Anthony Marshall, lethal in the box. Kind of one theme there with the comments. Yeah. But I totally agree that when he's on the ball, when you can put the ball in him, his finishing is
excellent,
genuinely world class. I think it was 3.9 shots per goal last season. Yeah. Marcus was 8.4 shots per goal, so technically 2 times more lethal, 2 and a bit times more lethal than what Tony Marshall.
He had the highest
Rashford is.
Highest conversion rate in the Premier League in terms of shots to goals. I mean,
it was the same actually as Mane.
Was it
Mane
same
was
as Mane?
3.9
Oh yeah,
well.
so it was same to Mane, but I mean that was above like people who were getting ridiculous, like Aubameyang, all them sort of thing.
I know because we did some stats towards the end of the season. I know that Ronaldo had more shots than Tony, Marcus, and Lukaku combined.
Oh yeah, but that's what you get when you put Ronaldo in a team. Like if you look at,
and also
not only is he in a team that creates more chances, he's better at creating chances for himself than Tony.
That's something
Marcus
that's hard to quantify.
Yeah.
He's lethal from anywhere. That's the difference, I think. And
if you have 250 shots in a season, your conversion rate doesn't need to be that great for you to score 25, 30 goals.
I feel like the thing with Ronaldo though is if you notice that when he came into the team, the people around him didn't score as much. Like if you noticed, we would talk about Dybala before. He went down from 22 goals in a season to 5,
to not even playing.
And then you had Douglas Costa and Bernardeschi, who both got like 2 each, maybe even 1, I think, for Douglas Costa. So it's like you look at that sort of thing. You probably want a team that plays more for each other as well. Mm-hmm. Like people always talk about, what if Ronaldo came back for United? I mean, it's a good thing that Juve got him for what they did.
Have you noticed this on the player issue? On these, we got the 90 plus 1 and 90 arms. Player issue one. I reckon that's chip like stuff like that. So they've just got like a little black bar.
You think in game, but obviously for the fans, obviously they're gonna have the numbers. Weird. It's probably further. I think the numbers thing is a bit too gimmicky.
It's a bit cheesy.
Yeah. Especially when this isn't even like the proper year for the treble. I think last season would have been.
I know they did that with the 68 shirt.
It's a bit weird.
Which is a great shirt, but
yeah, no. do it at the end of the season rather than at the start.
I think it's the best red shirt with like the home kit we've had in years.
Wicked.
Though.
I love the colour of it. It's not a bright red. It's like a darker blood red almost.
I was a bit iffy before the treble, before the Class of '92 match. I'm sorry, not the Class of '92 match. The treble ceremony game. Yeah. I've seen Beck's.
That's still probably the highlight since the last season for me. Just watching Beckham score that goal and absolutely loved it. He loved it so much.
Watching Beckham ping balls across the pitch like it was nothing.
It's the best right wing we've had at Old Trafford since.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably when Ronaldo played on the right. Sort of thing.
I'm slightly worried about these, all the wing position. Everyone's being moved from a winger to being a striker. Who are we going to play?
They're absolutely dominating the shots there. Not dominating possession. Showing you that we can play on the counter attack and not great. More key passes, more shots coming off it.
Feels about right though. But their possession, not much of. I mean, they're in our half now, but it's not been in and around our box, has it? It's been in this position, just inside our half or inside their own half. I think we're holding the line quite well. We're not allowing them to just sort of apply a lot of pressure to us, as you can see there. Like I said,
I feel like that's
the 5 key passes. Just shows that they're not being able to turn this possession into much so far, other than that one Dele Alli chance.
I feel like a lot of their more creative players aren't really on the pitch. I mean, you got Ericsson and Son and sort of thing. The players that you would thought would maybe unlock the game and actually play.
Great touch.
Got Stephen van der Meer in there saying United scouted Bruno Fernandes all of last season. I would say on that front, United have got like 20-something scouts in Portugal.
We've scouted,
everyone.
Yeah.
We've scouted the new Bebe and everything.
Can't wait to get him. Where's he playing now, the new Bebe? Just street game outside of Woolworths somewhere.
The actual Bebe.
I remember rightly last time he was somewhere in Spain that that was like 2 years ago. He's probably somewhere in Portugal now. Just living off the fact that one time...
He's still playing though, isn't he? He's still a pro. He's doing well.
Yeah.
He's signed for someone else. I saw a few weeks ago. I don't know who it was. Still doing all right.
I feel like we've used that Portuguese link a lot recently. I mean, we signed Rojo from there. We signed Lindelof. We're looking... We've apparently been rumoured with, obviously, Fernandes and then Ruben Diaz. So we're kind of in and around there constantly, and that's probably why we keep getting linked with those sort of players.
And
Scouting
Felix
means
as well.
nothing, no. Yeah, I mean, João Felix probably never even close to getting him for.
I mean, imagine if United had paid 120 million euros for João Felix. The amount of pressure and the amount of stick we would have got for that.
That's mad.
Ooh. Andre Pereira almost loses his testicles. Talk about United overpaying for players. How on earth did they get that for him? Insane. Not that he's not good enough necessarily, but we just don't know yet. How can you pay that 130 million euros or whatever it was for someone who's 18? How old is he? 19?
19. I thought it was going to be like they were going to sell Griezmann and then he would have been the replacement, but now they're not. Apparently, they're not even sold Griezmann.
There's no way he doesn't play for Barcelona next season. He's already played for him.
Wait, what do you mean?
So apparently,
I thought he signed for him.
He has signed.
Apparently, Atletico.
Wait a minute, what are you talking about?
This is like we've set this up.
Okay,
so Stephen, pretend you don't know what's going on with Griezmann.
I don't know.
No.
So apparently, Atletico have put in a complaint with the Liga, and the Liga president has said that because he had basically announced that he was going to sign for Barcelona before the transfer, the release clause dropped from 180 to 108. Barcelona have to pay them 180, otherwise they want them to ban them from being able to register him as a Barcelona player.
Because
right to the works.
Essentially, they signed him before his transfer.
So basically, they said that
the
whole phase they used was like that his head is in Barcelona. He knew he was leaving Atletico, and
if you complete the transfer, I'm going to be on Barcelona side here. I get what you're saying, and I get where they're coming from, and yeah, it's shit, but that's how release clause windows work sometimes. Is that you wait for that to happen, and you can wait for that to happen, and you got to get with ban now.
But the suggestion is that they didn't wait.
It was a legal approach.
They did too much before that.
Sort of thing.
Before that,
do you know what? Everyone taps up everyone.
Yeah.
The bid is meant to be the first thing, because you're meant to ask for permission to speak to someone, and in the process of asking for permission to speak, you agree a fee with the team. If you don't agree a fee with the team, they're not going to grant you a player. Sure. But that's not how it happens. You go and sound out the player/agent. Would you like to come to us? What's that going to cost? How much do you reckon we can get? then you go to the club with the money after you've agreed with a player, which is the backwards way to do it.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works.
happens.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that with De Ligt at Juventus. Like, apparently, everyone knew what Raiola was getting for him, and then it was like, oh, now we just need to do the easy thing.
No, we need a club to buy him.
Yeah, just need to actually buy him.
We already know the fee. We just don't know who's paying it, which is just insane, isn't it?
That is banana.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like Juventus.
Great pressure again right there.
Nice play there from Andreas.
That was
Pereira.
good.
It's just a good tackle.
Good defender.
Oh,
Went in
he's
there,
gone
didn't he?
straight
Got the ball,
in.
though. He's gone
No,
through
that's
him.
not a yellow card, mate. I
Got the
don't
ball.
think he even fouled him.
Got the ball, didn't he? I think that's it.
Oh,
Let's get a
hello.
booking
And
for
there's a
that.
card.
Oh, behave yourself, referee.
I feel like this ref has just had this game's now come to the point where it's like, yep, yellow cards are now in play.
Yeah, we're doing that now. Sometimes some preseason games they just refuse to give yellow cards out.
Yeah,
don't
they do.
But it seems as though.
Not today.
To be fair, though, I think today, if he'd have left it, it's fair enough. He gets the ball, but he's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit silly, really.
Yeah.
If he'd have turned his foot slightly, I think he might have got away with it. But you can't go in like.
I feel like there's only I've recently seen that one red card. There was one against in the Liverpool match where the
Did he get a red card for that?
He got a
Just
red card
booted it.
because he basically nearly broke his leg.
That was like when
Did
you're
he
in
shout
school.
Hadouken at the same
Yeah.
time?
When you're
He
in school
walked,
and
he
you're
literally
taking the
wa-
mick out of someone's
Yeah.
mum all break, and then they're just like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Just boot him.
Football
Literally like that.
pitch
Just an
absolutely
upset kid just
cleans
kicking
him
it.
out. Doesn't even go for the
Your
ball.
mum's crap. Just booted him.
40 minutes there on the clock. 5 minutes to go till half time. I'm not expecting change.
No.
We have. I don't know if United have took their foot off the gas or if it's just Tottenham's turning the sunlight a little bit with the ball, or if they're trying to work us out and we've just gone. Oh, we'll just chill for a minute, set the lead, not do anything crazy. Because we did just try and break very quickly there.
Oh, that
We
was a-
saw Andreas just
Oh, what?
Good tracking back from
Was
McTominay.
that-
yeah.
slide tackle
Yeah,
there.
back in
Was
the
that
box.
Troy Parrott again? That spin he did was.
Yeah.
Oh no, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
think it
was. It was a very nice spin by that player.
It's nice to see McTominay with that awareness there, with that defending awareness. Because I think Solskjaer's tried to, when he first came through under Mourinho, it looked like Matic number 2, and then Solskjaer seemed to sort of play up his attacking capability, hasn't he? So I think he's sort of trying to do a bit of everything, which is quite good.
Well, I think under Mourinho, McTominay was just scared for his life that if he ran forward, Mourinho was just going to come on the pitch and punch him.
Oh, were you 6'4"? Well, you play in front of the defence then, obviously. Can't play anywhere else with that height.
That's a great ball
That's a good.
from Wan-Bissaka.
He was just like, I have sold my favourite player in Marwan Fellaini.
Yeah.
You are now
Greenwood
him
right
minus
there.
hair.
Can you grow a haircut?
Well, I'll pay for your perm. You know what? Oh, you don't see that very often, do you?
Blonde perms.
Yeah. Art Garfunkel is about the only one. I think.
Stop it! You're giving Rojo ideas.
I can see that.
It's right, the silver hair's in now.
Silver perm.
In
Phil
Congo.
Jones. It was Phil Jones.
He'd do it.
Oh, jeez.
I think it was like to try and distract from his face. It's like everyone would look at his terrible
He's just gone
haircut.
through the back of Greenwood there.
Yeah.
See, that's worse, in my opinion, than Kane. I've not seen a lot of Mason in this hour.
No, he's not. He's been quite quiet, hasn't he?
It's been a very physical game. I feel
We
like
haven't had a lot of the ball either, to be fair.
No. I think he shines the most when he's finishing and his ability in the
Oh.
box. This is good by
Oh,
Martial.
Marshall's
that
just
wasn't a foul.
absolutely nailed him.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wait.
given a foul.
And he chipped him as well. Obviously, he blew. Can't hear.
No.
He didn't.
But yeah, with Greenwood, I think he shines most in front of goal. I think that's the thing that he just has naturally. He can just score goals. I think
How is that a foul?
that was a
He
ton
just
of
put his
losses,
arm on
yeah.
him like that.
He
And
McTominay
Vertonghen
knows
did
what he's doing there,
Stuck out his
doesn't he?
leg.
He's a
Bollocks.
veteran. He knows what he's doing with that.
Absolute bollocks.
He feels the contact on his shoulder and he goes over.
That's the experience there,
Yeah.
Sean. Yeah.
2 minutes ago till half time. Mildly impressed with say the first 20 or so of United.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's sort of slowed down a bit since then.
Wan-Bissaka's had a bit of a quiet game too, I think. The whole right side.
Don't want to go down that side.
No.
I feel like
no.
they're playing quite tight. Like
Yeah,
there's-
Tottenham been quite
there's
central.
not
haven't they?
there's not many wing. I think if Son comes on, I don't know if Son there, Son on the bench. I would.
Yeah, he will be,
Yeah, I feel like if he comes on, that's when they're gonna really show when Wan-Bissaka shines. Or I think maybe Spurs are waiting. Like, wait till he comes off,
Or maybe they
then
just
we'll
think
put on our left wingers.
they think that the centre of our team is maybe our weakest point with Domine and Smalling and Rojo, and they're just not playing down the wings. So we've seen a couple of sort of deeper crosses from their fullbacks trying to not engage with our fullbacks, and we've seen a lot of ball through the middle. And I think the best chance they had that Dele Alli chance was straight through the middle.
Rojo and Pereira being 15 and 16 with them haircuts is doing me no good, because I just looked at where Pereira was then and I was like, Rojo's far.
Also, they both like kicking people, so
it's hard it's like on FIFA when you've got two like randomly generated players with the same haircut and same boots. And like, I don't know which one of these is which. That's what we've got here. Yeah, exactly. Oh, good defender. It's interesting to see how we break out from this. It's a lot of balls straight to.
I feel like this is where go on, run down the wing.
What's he doing? It feels like it may be orders or something to just see the rest of the half. Yeah. Everyone's trying to pass it backwards.
Also, let's not forget it's 33 degrees with about 75% humidity.
That pitch is going to absolute pop.
And the pitch is made of fudge.
Terrible. Yeah. It looks shit. Marshall peeling off. And
go on.
On the right side.
Mason's now
Look at that. Pogba's
just desperate to go there.
Hopping up and down like an eager bunny.
Where is he?
On the
right top.
Is that Pogba there?
Yeah.
He was just waiting to go and he kept jumping on the line.
A lot of fluid positioning, like you said there. With
Martial
Martial dropped deep.
Martial.
Pereira filled in
nice
that gap straight away.
Speeding it up, Pereira.
Oh.
Okay.
Could have been decent.
Good move, very good anticipation by the centre back to wait for the pass. We saw a couple of those moves last season, didn't we, where there was just a quick tap between each player to
when
get...
Solskjaer took over.
Yeah.
The Cardiff game really reminded me of that little move with Marshall.
Just so you get another one of those goals.
Game. Not the second.
Yes, the first Cardiff game. Not the second
Stop PTSD, mate.
Yeah. See, and you notice as well, when it's Smalling, not Lindelof at the back, every single time our anchoring midfielder has dropped in between the two centre-backs to play the ball out.
If this...
So you lose it. You lose it.
Oh, he's come back for it.
5 United players in the box there, near enough.
Yeah.
Now the time?
That's it.
Oh, good effort. Yeah, you lose man because we have to have someone drop in and play the ball out.
Yeah.
Like, whereas if you've got centre backs that can make that pass themselves, you've got an extra pass on, and if you get counter attacked, you've got someone in that midfield role straight away. Whereas McTominay there, sort of out of the midfield because he has to do the passing for the centre backs, which is not ideal, obviously.
I feel like they just need to get that back into them, the confidence for United's wingers to go forward without having the ball played onto, like being played onto the ball.
I'm just going to nip off before we get to half time. I'm going to see if I can help.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a technical. I'm going to be the mic a bit.
Getting close.
There we go.
So
unfortunately, this leaves you, the viewer, to me speaking.
1-0 to United. The goal coming from... Who scored the goal again?
Martial,
after a lovely pass from Andre Pereira. It's been... We sort of talked about it, obviously, as the game's gone on, but it's been a kind of a pretty even half, I think. They've had more possession, but I would say we've been the more dangerous.
Yeah, I think going forward, I think we're seeing like we're applying the pressure high up the field, and I think it's working so far. You're seeing Spurs mess up, especially in that first 20 minutes. You're seeing much more of James right now, though, than Greenwood. And that right-hand side is not being utilised whatsoever, and I feel like we're not able to access some of Wan-Bissaka's biggest strengths, especially Greenwood as well. But, getting that goal just shows the potential that Martial has with clinical finishing, and then Pereira as well, to, be that playmaker that we might need if we're not able to sign someone like a Bruno Fernandes. I'm not saying, obviously, Andres Pereira's on the same level as Bruno Fernandes, but
if he has some of the characteristics that we want from Fernandes, like the passing, like that positioning, and being able to sort of fill in for the striker like we saw at the end there when Martial dropped deep, then maybe that's all we need from him.
Maybe for now, at least.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I was just going to say I've got some halftime stats.
Yes, go for it.
Just for you,
Stat
you at home.
Stat me off.
So, in the first half, chances created, Spurs created only the one, and United created 5.
Sure. What a save, by the way, from De Gea.
Yeah, it was a great save because Dele Alli set himself up. He was going to hit it across the net, and then he went to side foot, like he went to curve it with the outside of his foot, and then De Gea obviously anticipated that and got down and saved it. Duels won, Spurs 22 to United 17. I feel like that shows a bit of the it's very high combative
and also
nature
that's
of the
pretty
match.
close to each other as well.
It's also been an aggressive game, so I'm not surprised to see it that high.
Crosses, Spurs 7, United 8. This more, again, plays into what you were saying. It's a very even game. And then touches in the opposition box, Spurs 6, United 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And possession, obviously, Spurs 65, United 35.
It doesn't seem as though, to me, maybe it's just because, like you said there, Spurs have only made that one chance. It doesn't feel like they've had 65% of the ball.
No, at all. And it's six touches as well in their box. Doesn't feel like that.
It's interesting how United can have 35% of the ball and we don't feel as though we got battered. Whereas there were times under Van Gaal and stuff like that, we'd have 50, 60, 70% possession. Yeah. And you don't feel like we're on top.
It's been, I think, whenever Spurs have had the ball, I mean, even though their stats, obviously, for possession are quite high, when you see United press, immediately want Spurs to get the ball. I think it's that high tempo that we're playing at the moment when it comes to pressing, when it comes to when we have the ball as well. Yeah. That's really throwing Spurs a wrench in the works right there, I think. And we're seeing them lose a lot of balls easily.
Yeah.
I think it'll be very interesting to see when if Eriksen comes on at halftime, because I feel that's the player they're missing. They're missing that player to make that that final ball, because a lot of their passes have been between, and the possession has been between Winks, Ndombele, and Sissoko, just trying to find space. Yeah. And I think Ndombele's been the best at it. I think Ndombele's been the one that's been trying to get more forward. He's the one who's been playing it into sort of like Parrott, Kane, and Dele Alli. I mean, Dele Alli has been pushed out wide a lot more, I think, this half. I mean, when we were discussing at the start, we thought he'd play behind the strikers, but he's been more wide.
Yeah.
Sissoko's sticking back quite a lot as well.
Yeah. He's sort of been the one just kicking all of our players, hasn't he? Trying to get the ball back.
Kicking and stamping.
Does it worry anyone slightly that, obviously, like we said, it doesn't feel as though Tottenham have had that much possession, but this also isn't a full-strength Tottenham team. There was times last season under Solskjaer in the PSG game, and obviously we ended up winning that game, but in the first PSG game, well, no, that wasn't Solskjaer, was it, the first one? Anyway, where we would have a lot less possession, and against the good teams, against City in that second game, it felt like we just couldn't get the ball. Sure. And it's all right in this game because we've limited their chances to just that one. But against a top team who is known for having the ball like City or like maybe even Tottenham, full-strength Tottenham, are we able to still create those chances? Because last season we saw toward the end where we would just sit back and not have the ball, and we never made chances. Do we need to find a way to have more of the ball?
Yeah, I think right now one of the biggest things we're trying to figure out is, are we more counter-attacking or possession playing at the moment? And signing someone like Dan James, I think, only makes it kind of worse for mine, because he's a fast player, but when the ball's at his feet, he's not. I don't think he's able to create chances like he should. We saw plenty of times when he had the ball on the left wing. Very rarely was there a cross in from him. He'd normally pass it back. And so I think, obviously, you see what he's doing on the left, and then in the middle of the pitch, right now I'm seeing Pogba do most of the work going forward. McTominay sticking back, and Pereira did set up the goal, which was, I think, something that he doesn't normally do is his good final ball into the player's feet. And so, for me personally, I think if we're going to buy someone like Bruno Fernandes, then we'll be able to show that we'll be able to build up, play
actually
better.
Be able to keep the ball more.
But right now, I think we're really relying on counter-attacking.
But against the sort of teams in the lower half of the league especially, we will just have more of the ball almost by default, won't we? So I guess in those situations we're going to have the ball, but it does worry me slightly that we have struggled to have the majority of the possession, even in a game like this where I feel like we're the most dangerous team. But is that just what you sacrifice by being a counter-attacking team?
Yeah, but maybe. I think honestly, my answer to that is just yes. Yeah. So I don't mean to plainly yes.
I feel like against you see there's some teams that set up for possession. I don't think you'll ever beat like someone like City for possession, because their whole team is set up to have the ball. I feel like the thing is it's never, possession's always a very what's the word? I'd say deceptive stat.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, it's useful because I remember when Leicester won the title, they always had less possession than the other team. I don't think they averaged they didn't average higher than 40.
No, I'm not saying that we have to have more possession to win games. I was just my worry was maybe that against the top teams, will our lack of possession lead to a lack of chances created? But it hasn't today, so maybe it won't.
Yeah, I feel like the thing is that when we don't have possession, I think we need to more worry about the defence, and that's where obviously I think the signings need to come in. The centre back, and they've looked at central midfielders who are more maybe defensively minded. We've talked about Sean Longstaff. We've talked about Serge Milinkovic-Savic. Those two are very. I mean, I don't know much about Sean Longstaff. 9 games, but it seems like.
He's a holding. He sits deep, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sits deep, and they seem to have taught they're going to probably keep him at Newcastle. Steve Bruce doesn't want to sell him, and he's said he's a key player, and he thinks that Sean's going to stay. So I don't think that Sean Longstaff's that. And there's been reports about Serge Milinkovic-Savic coming out in the media. I'm not too sure about that one either, but he looks like the sort of mould of midfielder.
Yeah,
Right.
a lot of those rumours seem to be contingent on Pogba leaving, though, don't they? The Savic rumours.
I think a lot of the Italian media are just very, very in the thing at the moment. That why would Pogba want to not play for Juventus?
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
And Pogba and Juventus, if Juventus offer the money, Pogba's going. So I don't think Pogba actually is. I don't see it happening. I don't see Pogba leaving. I feel like Pogba is going to be here at the start of next season, and I don't think the Serge Milinkovic-Savic much has anything behind it.
What do we want to see from the second half then? Obviously, we've got the goal. I would say United are the most dangerous team in the first half. Sure. How can we take that forward into the second half? What do you want to see?
I personally want to see Lindelof and Tuanzebe come in because the centre-half pairing, I believe, leaves us so open in the back that we can't actually play any balls from the back. So right now we're seeing McTominay, Pereira and Pogba doing a lot of work in the middle of the field. And so I think if we were able to bring those two players, Lindelof and Tuanzebe, we're able to see the ball being spread a lot more, I think. Yeah. So going forward, though, really want to see if we can get Rashford in for Dan James to see if we can build up that play better on the left-hand side. Dan James hasn't had a terrible game by any standard, but his final touches right now really letting us down going forward to build a play. And right now I just really want to see the two centre-halves being brought in because I believe that's where... I think that's one of the big reasons why our possession's down as well. Yeah. Is I believe we're not passing the ball really to 2 out of our 11 players on purpose.
A lot of it's sort of because the defenders can't hold the ball particularly well. No. That means that everyone has to drop a bit deeper, and that we're inviting pressure on ourselves when we pick up the ball in midfield. I think Tuanzebe and Lindelof on the ball would allow a bit more freedom and a bit more holding the ball.
But Bailly's on the bench right now, so I don't know if he's going to be brought on or Tuanzebe. Pretty confident that Lindelof will be brought on.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be I'm going to probably put it out. I'll probably be proven wrong in about.
No, go on, say it.
I say
money on it.
I say.
Right now.
I'm going to say it's going to be.
Put 50 quid on the table. If Lindelof
I wish I had 50 quid.
I
wish I had 50 quid in my wallet to put on the table.
Put your Subway club card on the table instead.
I wish I had a Subway club card. I'm a very poor. I'm a poor student, Joe. I'm a poor student.
Okay, sorry.
So I think that Lindelof to Tuanzebe is probably, if we don't sign a centre back, or if we might hopefully sign a centre back, but if there was rotational, I think Lindelof to Tuanzebe is probably the most likely to play together. I feel they're the best ball players that we have, and I feel like they both work together. They both tell each other. Like Tuanzebe looks very vocal. Yeah, that's something I quite liked about him. It's like you can see him pointing out where players should go and who should mark who. So he seems like he has that behind him, which is quite helpful.
That's the good thing about a player coming from, even though it was the Championship, obviously Villa were one of the best teams in the Championship last season. I think players coming in from just having confidence no matter where it's from, whether that is from a Championship team or whatever it is, he's obviously coming with that confidence. He's an assured member of a defence. He feels like he can tell the United players what to do. I think confidence is such a big thing, and that's a great thing about loaning players. You don't have to get confidence from playing for Man United. You can get it from playing for Aston Villa and then bring that to United. And I think we're seeing that from him. The game against Inter especially, we saw that from him.
Missed that shot from Pogba.
The one across the box.
Yeah, just right at the depth there.
I said hit it. And I haven't seen that much from Pogba. I mean, like when he was at Juventus, he just seemed to hit him all the time from distance and put him in. But like since
behind the camera, he's clicking and pointing at stuff. I have no idea what they're trying to do.
I think it's like a big mind going on behind.
Yeah, it is. Mourinho isn't the type of
manager. 2 words. First word.
3 syllables. Sounds like bum.
Rum.
Yes,
rum.
That's it.
Rum.
That's it.
What's the second word?
Sounds like Coke.
Jack Sparrow.
Now, quick.
Why is the rum always gone?
I don't think Mourinho would probably have encouraged Pogba to hit the ball from 40 yards very often.
I feel like that's the thing, that the mentality, a couple of people have been commenting about the positive mentality at United and how it's maybe a bit overly positive. I don't see how there's a problem with an overly positive mentality. No. I mean, as long as Solskjaer behind the scenes is giving them hell if they're not playing right. In terms of the
I think he is.
I think we maybe saw the problem with that. Although I wouldn't necessarily blame those last sort of 15 games or 12 games, whatever it was, on a positive mentality. But I think there were some of the players that seemed as though they just decided that we were going to win games without having to try. And I think eventually they just got caught out time and time again by that. So I think that there's something to be said for not getting ahead of themselves. And that PSG game was sort of the crowning moment of look how great we are oh no, we're shit because we're not doing anything. We're not backing it up by actually trying hard. But I think, like you said, Solskjaer's definitely given him an absolute leathering, I think, behind the scenes, isn't he? We've heard that from him, we've heard that from journalists, we've heard that from players. So
I think that's still one of the like no-nos. I'll come back into the screen in a second.
He's gone.
Just getting a charger.
Plugging the laptop
I think that's like one of the big no-nos in football is you don't belittle your players.
Yeah.
In press conference.
Unless you're Jose Mourinho.
Unless you're Jose. But let's see how that turns out for Jose. We see that about Jose Mourinho getting linked with Newcastle and then no one.
They was getting Mourinho and Mbappe about 3 weeks ago.
Now they're getting Mike Ashley,
Steve Bruce and Joe
Bruce.
Linton, who's scored 8 goals, has never scored more than 8 goals in a season for 40 million. That's a very interesting transfer.
Yeah, it's nice to see everyone getting rinsed on player prices now, though, isn't it? It's not just United anymore. It's quite nice.
Apart from PSG, you just picked up Idrissa Gueye for 28 million.
And Juventus
we couldn't even ask them how much someone was for less than 28 million.
The phone call is that, well, we've got a 28 million call-out charge, and then if you want to talk to any of the players, that's another 30.
I mean, it seems like last season, PSG wanted a guy last season. They were like, oh, we'll have 27. It's like, that's not enough. No, we're not selling guy. This season, 28.
Yeah,
we'll take him.
Unreal.
And Juventus,
it's not like he's
best player for
how's
free.
How's a Premier League team letting someone like that go?
He's not like he's our best defensive midfielder. It's ridiculous.
Like him.
And then you've just got Juventus, who it just seem to be the vultures of the free market.
They're just such an attractive proposition, aren't they?
Yeah.
Such an attractive proposition. You're almost guaranteed to win the league. You get to play with one of the best players of all time in a team that's getting better, not worse.
Yeah.
And you can see why any player would
they've
go
got
there.
that tax rebate now that they can just literally offer less money and they get more money. It's sort of like
dollar bills, yo.
Yeah. So I mean,
the wages are absolutely through.
I mean, like Aaron Ramsey's apparently getting the equivalent of like 400k a week, but then there's a tax, so it's not the same. And then you got Rabiot. I mean,
and obviously
that's why I think like I want De Gea to sign a new contract because I just know that Juventus will be like, oh,
come over here.
Buffon's retiring and we have Szczesny. Let's go for this.
It
one of the
must
best
be great
keepers
for
in the world.
Szczesny though. He's gone there and somehow just managed to win the league and be their number one choice goalie.
I mean,
Szczesny.
He's been alright.
Szczesny at Roma was quality. He was the best keeper in the league when he was at Roma.
I don't believe that.
And then he went to.
We saw him at Arsenal. We know you can't fool. We saw him at Arsenal. He isn't that good. He's all right.
Oh, Juan Mata.
Juan Mata's
So
out
that's
there.
been some
And
beautiful-
Rashford.
The beautiful
Oh
bastards.
no, there's Homman's son.
So
Is
we've
that a whole
we've
new
made at
11?
least a few changes. Yeah. Do we know? Do we have the full changes anywhere?
Yeah. I think that's one player. If you were to say, I mean, while we're trying to find the change, I think that one player, if he came to United, I would want Homman's son. He's quality.
Yeah, and he's got that work rate as well that you look for from a United type player, isn't he?
He's not that guy as well.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Especially, I mean, if we're looking for a winger and Tottenham want to sell, just give him a nudge after the game.
Yeah.
Get quoted like 200 million or something. Or Dalot's on.
Dalot's just nailed it against Dele Alli and freed up Son in them.
So I'm going to guess
What a
1%.
great
Oh,
start,
yeah, there we
mate.
go. Bailey's on, not to Xavier.
Yeah, it's a full new 11.
I'm
It's
so
a full
glad.
new 11. We'll give you the 11 as soon as we've got it, everybody.
Eric Lamela is a weird player. Like, he did that one Rabona shot.
Which is still
This was incredible.
One of the best goals I've ever seen. I think that's an underrated goal. Because have you ever seen another one?
No.
Like that Van Persie header against Spain.
I've seen like Rabona crosses, and I just don't get how they get the power on it. But to get one in for like top corner.
Yeah, great.
Angel Gomez is on.
Oh, Shaw's on now. I feel like
We definitely. It looks like an entire new 11.
Yeah,
to
I
be
think it
honest.
is.
Yeah, it
Which
definitely
we'll
is.
have
Fred.
review as soon as possible.
So we've got.
So I didn't want to subway.
so. I'm looking. I can see
Get
Shaw,
some cookies. Even a cookie.
Shaw, Lindelof, Bailey,
Yeah.
Dalot, Fred, Matic, Lingard, Mata, Rashford, and one last player.
Gomez as well.
Gomez, Angel Gomez. Yeah, so that's the new 11. Angel Gomez.
And hell.
From Salford.
So I'm saying he's from Salford.
Costa del Salford.
Bringing the Samba style to Salford.
Do we think that's a heat-related thing then? Because the last couple of games we've had 60 minutes out of that first team. Do you think it's just because they're too hot, or what do you reckon?
Also, I wouldn't want to risk him on this pitch.
Yeah, maybe it's that.
You
Yeah.
also don't know what's happened in the rest of pre-season because this is with their training in the morning, going home having a shower, and then getting ready for the game again. So there's obviously things that get worked on.
Yeah.
We've got the full 11 here from Alex. Let's just have a
They might have had a big
dinner.
They've had a big dinner. Get these lads off. No, they might have had a big fitness session this morning.
So it's Romero in net. We've got Dalot, Baye, Lindelof, Shaw, Matic and Fred, Mata, Gomez, Lingard, Rashford. Quite a narrow 4 there.
Yeah.
I'd say probably.
Are we expecting
3 behind
Rashford down the middle? Do we think?
I would think this is going to be Rashford down the middle. What happened there, Fred?
I think Tottenham have been a little less wholesale in their changes. I think they've only made
This looks weird, man. This looks like under 9s football when the keeper's passing it out
Let
inside
him
the box.
go in the box. Don't tackle him to start with. You get 2 free.
He can't kick it far.
Yeah.
He has asthma.
Is the reason why though is because
He's
if
got
you
asthma in
plant
his
the
legs.
foot,
It's like under 9s football, and Sissoko just comes in and stamps on someone.
That big lad who hit puberty before everyone else.
Like Lukaku when you saw that picture from the under 14s
When he's
game.
bigger than
it's
the
like,
ref.
he's
He's
like,
a little kid, and then he's bigger than the ref.
Adam, can I have a rum and coke, please?
It doesn't look like Tottenham have made those changes either, so it would be interesting to
In a
see.
tumbler, like the glass one, the little ones.
I feel like
well, they brought on Alderweireld at least.
They brought on Alderweireld, but it seems that
Dele Alli's gone a
Lamella's
bit
come on as well,
deeper.
but we can still see Sissoko and
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 is
Dombele.
Son on?
yeah,
feel
it's
like
a strange
yes.
one. They haven't. It's not full 11, is it? But
No.
it's
No.
Lucas Moura.
Lindelof and Bailly. No Axel.
Lucas Moura is on, so that's going to be fun. He
Yeah,
always
that's
seems to
something.
have a good game against us.
But there we go. Let's see if we can shut him down.
See, why has he come out here?
Yeah, Matt has played quite centrally, hasn't he, so far pre-season? But it looks like he's.
I feel like he just came out.
Lowe's losing the ball quite often now.
Oh, Juan. Oh, brilliant. Oh, Marcus wasn't ready for it.
He's gonna get bullied.
I
He's
love
too
watching
small.
Matta sprint. I could watch just like a non-stop video of that for it, just shuffling along like he's never quite used his legs before.
Someone on the graphics team can get a gif for Joe of just Mata running along the pitch.
I'll just be giggling at the side for.
You'll make him happy
40
for
minutes.
Oh boy.
80 million for Harry. If you don't get him the 80 million, going to go in the Glazers' pocket. Just pay it.
I think it's in the Glazers' pocket anyway, isn't it? Who else has got it?
Not me.
No, not me exactly. Yeah.
I obviously
Just
didn't have it
pay
because
it.
I couldn't put 50 quid on the table.
Another rum. This today might end up in the beer garden.
But you
Got
can
the
have
weather
a
for it.
You need some breakfast.
It is the weather for it. 34 degrees is meant to be here in Manchester.
Oh,
It's lovely, isn't it?
Fantastic.
We've got the aircon on though, obviously.
We've had to. Camera's been overheating.
Fred's done well there to win that
That's how
back.
hard it's been.
One Hesse
I've
right
been-
past them. Can he get Marcus off here? You've got to get an end product here, mate.
Oh
He's
no!
surrounded by 4
Yeah,
players.
but that's
to
why
be
you've
fair.
got to let it go. As soon as you feel
Yeah.
like you've got to release someone,
Yeah.
even if it's backwards sometimes, just to keep the possession. He
Keep the ball.
did brilliant moving the ball forward there, but like you've got to do something with this.
I feel like that's one of the problems with having like Mata on the pitch and stuff. It's not one of the like when you have Dan James, Greenwood, they have like all willing runners to get the ball, but like Juan Mata
It's a great ball. from
naturally
them.
can't be. And
Son. Oh, he's chipped him, and
Yeah,
it's
too
over
much.
the bar. Not
Too much
far
of that.
over the bar, though.
He was through
Look,
too
just turn
easily
us off
there.
screen.
Too through easy. Too easy. It's
Great
Dallo
run.
playing him on side as well, isn't it?
Great
Everyone else had pushed up.
Son's quality. So I absolutely love the kid. That is not far over either, to be honest. Outrageous
No, it's
chip to
quite-
try.
well, if it wasn't for Son, Tottenham would have had so many problems last season because he bailed him out of so many matches when
Yeah.
Kane got injured,
Kane
and
was
obviously like they had those.
Even
That's-
to the point where people started saying Harry Kane shouldn't start for Tottenham. Do you remember that at the Champions League final? Like, that's how good he was.
in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I still stand by that. Harry Kane shouldn't have started.
Yeah, exactly. But that just goes to show how good Son was last season for Tottenham. The fact that people would say that even a half-fit Kane shouldn't start for Tottenham when he was their best player for so long.
Well, he's the reason that they were in the semis, I think.
Yeah,
That game
exactly.
against City. He's brilliant. Quality.
I can't. He's given a foul there for very little contact there, wasn't it?
That's what it's been like, though, this whole game. It's been quite
Yeah.
aggressive. I think right now the referee's almost
Look
anticipating.
at this.
Has someone stolen my tumblers?
Got small glasses here.
Not beds.
Someone's stolen the tumblers.
It's not long.
Pass that
See,
along.
It's not long. These are cocktail glass.
Can we get the man a cocktail,
Alcohol.
please? He'd like a sex on the beach, if pos.
Anything that's
Just drink.
pink.
He wants
He'll-
something
he'll
pink
drink.
at the top and then orange at the
Yeah.
bottom, and the colours are slowly mixing.
Sex on the
like that.
beach.
Yeah.
Fucking wank in a shower wouldn't be bad.
Purple rain.
The slippery nipple. I don't know why they have to make him so sexual. We're still going to drink him anyway. It always makes me feel a bit weird.
It's so you can be an absolute creep when you go to
Yeah.
the bar and order them.
Can
Have a sex on the beach, please.
ball bag, please.
And
I'm sure there's
I'll
one.
have a
I don't know
pint
what
as well.
cocktail bars you're going to, Joe.
Oh, cocktails. Oh, sorry, no, I just wanted that.
He's wanted to say that.
Yeah, gives a dirty ball bag then.
That's the exact reason why they're called what they're called.
Yeah, exactly. Because people.
So people would just be a creep.
Yeah,
So the bartenders can laugh.
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, because they've not heard it 76,000 times.
Gets funny every single time.
Sex on the beach, please.
And I was like,
Yeah, good one. Hilarious.
Lovely.
You're the funniest guy in the call centre.
This tastes a bit like fish. I didn't want to say it first half, but I've relaxed a bit now. Do you want to taste that?
Not now you've said it tastes like fish.
Good point.
Are you messing about with the 5,000 again?
Something's going on in there. I don't know if it's just lukewarm Red Bull. But
Nah, that just tastes crap, mate.
Okay, it might be
Tastes
my
like Red Bull.
mouth. Might be my mouth then.
It tastes like fish.
Something's going on there. Something is going on in that.
Down
glass,
all
I'm
at
sure it is.
once.
We should probably talk about the football a little bit, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Good play by Dallo there. He's given the ball away a couple of times. He's giving it away again, look, just as I was saying how good he's done. That's 3 times he's given the ball away in about 7 minutes, isn't it?
He's not good with the ball. I mean, so far, from what we've seen,
Yeah.
I think any time he does, he almost
And
panics.
then look, he's out of position now and Son's through.
Fucking subscribe.
Oh,
Subscribe.
He's offside.
All right. For the 3rd time, fucking subscribe. Thank you.
Just subscribe.
And like the show as well. Alright, hang on. If you think he looks like Jesus, hit like.
If you think he looks like Buddha, hit like.
if you think he's an alcoholic.
I'm not an alcoholic.
You don't really need to think that. It's been scientifically proven over the course of this stream.
Do you know what? I was meant to be like going teetotal for, I don't know. I felt like at least a week.
Yeah. It seemed like you
Detox.
What day is it? Thursday. So when was
That's
last
so
time?
When you don't know the days, that's
What
when
about-
it's getting a bit messy.
Yeah, but I don't know the days regardless.
Anyways.
Usually, like, yeah. So when was the last time we were drinking?
Oh,
Sunday.
Bai's injured.
Sunday, that's not bad. 4 days off.
Yeah.
While Baye's
And
hurt his
Thursday's
knee and
pretty
he's
much
been
the
on.
weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eric Bai's injured
It's
again.
a match
Getting
day.
stretcher out.
Eric Baye's got a massive
course he
pillow
is.
underneath his sock for some reason. Look at the padding he's got on his shin there. Baye's.
I think his knee's gone again.
I think Axel's probably going to come
So I
off.
think my delayed prediction
Is
of
that if I
200.
can get-
With it being pre-season, can they bring on players that have come off or no? Even
No,
so,
I don't
you
think
still
so.
can't do that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but they have turned Zabi on the bench, so it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean,
What happened anyway? Do we know what happened?
No.
No, he hit the deck there.
Overextended his knee, I think.
Yeah, he's just a fucking savage, isn't he?
Yeah. It's just made of twigs.
His body isn't built for the mind that like he thinks he
I
has.
know, yeah.
He just doesn't. He can't play.
I thought you said the mine then. I was like, that's an interesting comment.
Body isn't built for
Oh no,
the
he's going
minds.
back on the stretcher. He
Get
thought
on
he
the
could
stretcher.
walk it.
I'd love to get on a stretcher.
Really?
Just get carried off like that, yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? I've always thought that.
Lovely.
When you see
Have
him
a
get
heavy
carried
night
off,
out.
you just look at that. Look.
You're probably
How relaxed-
screaming.
Oh, yeah, that's
you're
the
probably
dream.
It's
like
like you
there.
sit down in a
agony
chair for
right
that.
now.
the dream.
Some like Ottoman king being carried around like that. You wouldn't like that.
An Ottoman king
You'd love
who's
that.
just overextended
Us
his knee and
carrying
is
you
in
out of, like, a
pain.
pub like that at about 1 a.m.
I've been carried out of pubs.
And
He's never been to like a round of applause though. Well, maybe it has.
with
actually.
that. Yeah. See? I thought it was weird, and now you've said you've done it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to come on to replace him? You would assume Axel, wouldn't you?
Sure, yeah.
Unless maybe
Fair,
Phil
that's
Jones,
why I
I
wanted to
suppose.
see
Oh,
him.
Oh, hello.
That's interesting. That looked like handball, didn't it? Did he not touch it with his hand?
There's a-
Hector there.
I feel like
Playing Lucas in at the back. No,
I feel there's a lot
Right,
more,
okay.
lot more quality on the
this
pitch. right now.
absolute carnage of a defence here. They're just all over the place.
Yeah,
aren't
but
they?
it's exciting, isn't it?
Diving
Is it?
in.
Yeah.
Is it
No,
exciting?
No.
Two
This
drink
is what I
down.
want to inject.
Two drink
it.
down Housen thinks it's exciting.
Brilliant. No way.
What night was it? Was in Perth? We went to that hippie place.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was.
If anyone,
Housen,
if anyone's watching who
trying to
lives in,
professionally drink.
it was too
Professionally.
much in there. If anyone
Professional.
watching from Perth, there's a bar called Hippie, which is the weirdest bar I've been in my entire life.
Fact.
The DJ booth is a converted VW van.
Yep.
That the DJ didn't leave the van for 6 hours. Where is he going to the toilet? What is he doing? Literally just pissing in a van. Insane.
It's the best work trip ever.
Yeah.
Just
Had
Oh, yeah.
everything you wanted.
We've
Sticky
done-
carpet a lot.
Stinky carpet. What? That's not
No, sticky
euphemism, is
carpet.
it? Oh, okay, sorry.
What was the better location of the two, Singapore or Perth? If you had to choose
If I
one,
had
you
to
poor
live in
souls.
Singapore. Well, yeah, if I had to live in one, probably Perth. Singapore was unreal.
Singapore was a great place to see and visit.
Yeah,
it's
'cause you
so,
guys
like,
put about
Singapore,
like
you look
20
out of
pictures
every
up on your
window and you
Instagram.
go, fucking hell.
It's like anytime you got a chance, just Instagram it.
Yeah.
asking what is the score. It's 1-0. It's at the bottom
It's
of
at
the
the bottom
screen.
of the screen, Arcade. Right there.
Right there.
Right on there. Right at the bottom.
Oh, and just to comment, Tuan Zabi has come on for Eric Bailly.
Oh, at least it was watching
Do you know
the
what?
live show.
That might be
That's my job.
That's who I want to see anyways.
That
A
might
little
be
off
so
there.
good.
Get Batty there
He's
going
getting
off
carried, properly carried
like
off.
my nan getting carried off the beach. She's done a back's gone. Back's
Yeah,
gone.
everywhere in Singapore was a background.
Yeah, it looked like a
it
wallpaper.
doesn't look real. It looks like a
That's
render
great.
where someone's gone, here's a futuristic city.
Yeah. So
You're
that
like,
was
huh?
pretty incredible. But in terms of it's quite
Food was
what, Bob?
banging.
the food was amazing.
Oh, some
We
great
tried
play.
stingray. Like there was some local lads that had like looked after us, and they properly looked after us. So
Yeah.
shout out to Hunter and Ben and the lads. You absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
it's
nice.
actually called Hung Thor, which might be the best name I've ever heard in my life.
Hung Thor.
Yeah.
Hung
you heard,
Thor.
mate.
Yep, correct.
Wow.
Or
Listen,
AKA Hunter.
No people like Fat Thor or something, but no, Hung Thor is
Hung
where you're
Thor.
going.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go for it, lad. So they absolutely smashed it out of the park for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the end of the game on Saturday, they was like, "Do you want us to get you some takeaway or something?" We was fucked up.
Yeah.
So we was just like, "Yeah."
Yeah, whatever. I guess.
So they was like, "All right,
Takeaway,
they've come
please.
brought us some food," and they're like, they just left it there, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
So we attacked some chicken wings. There's a big box of chicken wings because we didn't have a fucking clue what the rest of it was.
Just
And
some
then
of
they
it
came
was
in.
covered in like cereal and stuff.
Yeah, they was something wrapped in paper
Honestly.
and oil.
Yeah.
And we was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
And they came in.
Can I actually eat this?
He goes, "Have you had the stingray?" And we're like,
Excuse me, mate.
"Fucking what?"
the sting.
What, that thing that killed Steve Irwin? No, we haven't had that. Because we're not nutters. You don't just dive headfirst into a stingray.
But then we got a spoon and we did.
But was it good?
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, there we go.
Joe, I would describe it as wet chicken. Like barbecue wet chicken.
Just imagine some lovely wet chicken right now.
There we go.
That's the life, innit? Hello, yeah, can we get 3 portions of the wet chicken, please?
That's what it tastes like. It tastes like
It
wet
did.
chicken.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
sure that's
really
one of the new
so-
Subway toppings.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think that's all
they
of
have
the
Subway.
Subway.
crispy onion,
Have it
wet
your way.
chicken.
Wet chicken.
All of, yeah, it was,
That is the weirdest.
it was so
description I've
mild
heard
and
for that.
light,
Yeah, but
like moist.
do you get what I'm saying though?
No, I don't.
But wasn't it
Wasn't it
accurate?
just like-
Yeah, wet chicken, yeah.
Wet chicken.
Because it was so not fishy. It was just like mild and
Unlike
we're just
your
doing
drink,
food reviews
apparently,
now.
yeah.
Mate, don't worry about it. This is what we turned our vlog into.
Yeah, just a food review.
Well, do you agree with that?
But yeah, Singapore was absolutely banging.
Singapore was
I
gorgeous,
didn't try
and the
it.
game was the fans in Singapore as well. It was quite a strange atmosphere. Like during the game, there were no chants and no songs like you'd expect from like a good atmosphere anywhere else. But anytime anyone got the ball, anytime anyone made a pass, people just screamed. Like,
yeah.
It was either zero or just carnage, but no like not a traditional fan atmosphere, but it was real fanatic sort of.
What do you
Just-
think for them? That's like the biggest thing that they'll get at that stadium.
Yeah.
You know, I think they just want to make the most of it. I mean, it's the same thing that happens, you know, in America when any team goes there because the MLS is just crap. So
Yeah, but it's
anytime they
much
get
more
a
established
player-
in Singapore. We were speaking to a lad who's played for like the Singapore under 23s team,
Sure.
and there's just no real. There's not a proper national team set up. There is, but it's all kind of very small. At least America has, you know, established players,
Sure.
an established league. As Lucas Moore almost gets through there, but yeah, I think, like you said, they're so deprived of that top level football that it was just carnage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was really good.
Especially with the big names coming there. I mean, you know, like having Paul Pogba on the team, De Gea,
and
all
also Ronaldo was there that week, and Tottenham were there, and Inter were there. Like they had a lot of big teams. It wasn't
Sure.
just United. So
Didn't Inter do something that no one turned up for?
I don't know.
I can't remember what it was, but there's literally nobody turned up for something.
If you're on about the match, none of the Inter turned up to that.
Ah,
really?
there
That
was
was
about
shocking, Fred.
70 people. I saw them.
Really?
Yeah, they was all sat on about 6 rows off to our right hand side. But it might as well have just been a United lockout.
Yeah. There was so many United fans, and there was a point when we were waiting just outside a bar right next to the
that was
stadium, and all the Inter fans came down the road, and everyone was sort of chanting at each other. And they were like, "Where are all these Inter fans in the stadium?" We looked, and there's like a little school bus full of Inter fans
bunch of
just
them.
at one side. You thought it really was just all United, wasn't it? It was pretty impressive. Yeah, it was great.
There's not a lot really going on in the game here. It's a little bit back and forth, a little bit scrappy, a little
Very
bit
scrappy.
lacking in quality from both sides. It's like
Yeah.
you sort of get a little bit of a build-up and then you get to the halfway line and then...
There's no sense of urgency. That's really what I'm getting from it.
Tottenham seems to
Fred's had a
be
couple of sighters.
playing it like long and trying to get in behind the defence, but they're
There's
not
been
really.
a lot of balls up, hasn't there?
Oh, and here comes Christian.
Multi-substitution now. Eriksen's coming on.
Rolls.
Dele Alli just came off, and Ndombele.
So I think like this is
So
one.
Coco,
I think
I
Christian Eriksen's going to do something here. I hope.
Good footballer.
You hope.
Would you ever meet United?
Pardon?
You
in
hope
a
he does
heart-
I said don't hope.
Oh, right.
I think he's exactly what we need. A real great, really good on the ball, scores goals, makes assists, but his work rate is absolutely spot on as well, isn't it? Like, he's not a luxury player, even though he feels like he is. He works so hard. I think he'd be perfect under
Just a
Solskjaer.
top top footballer.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could say like highlight reel football, but
Is that Rush?
he's both
Jesse's going down for the socks.
Quite a good team footballer, but he's also a highlight footballer as well. I think I read a stat the other day on Opta that he'd scored 22 goals, which is the most goals from outside the box since his debut in 2013-14, and he'd also like created the most chances.
Yeah, just an excellent player, isn't he?
And he's scored the most direct free kicks.
What in the Premier League?
I think since his debut. Yeah, I mean that was on. I think that was Opta, Joe. If anyone wants to double check that and call me out on it, but yeah.
Son's got a bit of war paint on his face though. So he don't hit his face on the floor. Maybe some dirt or something. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah, if there's anyone who's going to have war paint on the field, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be Son.
No, maybe not.
Like the video if you're first time watching on Stretford Paddock as well. And let us know what you think of the channel, what we're doing so far, because we're going to be doing watch-alongs all the way throughout the season. We've got our fan cams and a presenter at every game bar this one, because we had to all come home, sadly.
Poor you guys.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously
they won't let
me and Joe were out on. Me and Joe were out in Singapore and in Perth, which was a phenomenal experience. We've got a lad going over to Oslo next week for that game, and we will be in Cardiff. I don't know who's going yet to Cardiff, but we'll figure it out. We'll have someone in Cardiff covering that game as well. And then, obviously, we're into the Premier League season. Don't know if we're going to do European away trips yet, because obviously we don't know where they're going to be. But we do want to go and cover all of those. Yeah. But I think for a channel that's so young, so fresh, so brand new to the game here on YouTube, I think we're doing very well. So thank you to everyone that has subscribed already, and thank you to those that are about to subscribe. Fucking hit the subscribe button.
That sounded like a threat to me. And while those are
looking right down the camera.
And you are about to subscribe, actually.
Yeah, we're very close to 15k, which, to be honest, we'd sort of been thinking, like, wonder what we could get, and we was thinking, like, 25k by the end of the season. Sure. So to be talking about probably hitting 15k very soon, to be honest, like in the next a few days probably.
And the fans have been awesome with giving us feedback as well, which has been great to see the interaction, because I think one of the biggest things for us is we like putting out the content. But
Son,
the fans behind are awesome.
There, Son lays it outside. Not sure who that fella is. Tuanzebe clears out to Son. Lucas Moura brings it down.
Did quite well.
What is that? What happened there? Did that take a deflection?
I think it
took Romero
14 deflections.
Just went west, didn't he?
Romero's just on the floor just watching roll by him.
Romero's got that smile on his face of a man that's made a mistake. Like that. But I think it
mistake in pre-season style. That's the asterisk there.
God damn it.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, he definitely made a mistake, did he?
He thinks he did.
All the comments are saying deflected. Let's wait until we see the
it did look
replay
deflected,
of this, but let's have a gander at that.
Few of the fans there just wearing England tops.
Were there?
Not even choosing a side.
But there was Liverpool fans and Tottenham fans at United's game the other day.
Yikes.
So Tuanzebe clears it out. It bounces off Son's head. A brilliant control from Lucas. Does that it? I can't see who that is, actually. It's someone right in the centre of the box.
Is it like roll over to Anzebi's foot?
Was it Matic?
It might be Matic, this. No, it's not Matic that it hits. I can't even
that
see
camera.
Let's get an actual camera angle that works, shall we?
It's Lucas that scored it, for those asking in the comments. But I
still can't deflected off.
No idea. It's definitely a deflection.
Here we go.
It's
Shaw.
Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw facing the wrong way as the ball.
It sort of hit his ankle at the back of his foot.
So it wasn't too much of a mistake for Romero there.
No, it was just an unfortunate.
So you guys are saying in the comments, get your comments in below as well for us to read out, and let's see what got some for reading out. Let's see what everybody's saying. So we got some comments on Twitter as well. If you want to go and check us out on Twitter at Stretford Paddock, come and give us a follow. Gutted for Eric, but doesn't seem like it's going to work out for him at United. Must be a centre back must sign a centre back before the window closes. That's United Extra. Simon Peach has been talking. He said that Berry leaves the field on a stretcher. United defender is understandably upset, and that'll do us. Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you think Bayern's going to be leaving us anytime soon, or do you think he's even reliable?
I think he's a good player when he's fit, but that's the problem. Like, knee injuries seem to be the killer for defenders. Like, you've seen one of the reasons people said, "Oh, we don't want to sign Alderweireld for United," is because he has a recurring knee injury. And I feel like, as Ronaldo, one of the co-hosts on here, says, the best ability is availability. I'm just making it. Best ability is availability.
Not wrong.
So
Yeah.
True story.
you can
I love that quote.
quote
I'm gonna
that
get
to
I'm
Ronaldo
gonna get
Brown.
That quote tattooed on my rib cage, I think.
You
I
need
love
Twitter
that.
bio.
So
Yeah, that's the one.
but yeah, I feel like the problem is with most of our centre backs is that you can't sell them. No one particularly wants them. They're on too higher wages, or have injury issues, or both.
It seems as though the other top teams, well, calling out a top team, but we are a top team. The other top teams have been much more quick to replace defenders that are either unavailable or not good enough. Whereas
Oh,
there we
that
go,
was good.
Angel Gomez coming into the box.
Quick
Cut your own,
side.
mate. From there, I would.
Oh,
A bit of a deflection. I think defenders trying to get the foot in there.
Yeah, United just haven't been quick enough to replace defenders that either aren't good enough or aren't fit enough. And I think
Great ball up from Marcus Rashford. Great link-up play. And yeah, it's
Just trying to shift it onto his right foot, isn't he?
see, I mean, they signed new contracts to Jones and Smalling, and I feel like I was happy with one of them to stay. I feel like one of them as backup is fine.
Yeah, definitely. Because we can't just have no defenders. Like
Exactly,
if we want to
yeah.
replace the defenders we have to do it over 2 or 3 seasons. We can't just do it
Yeah.
immediately. So I understand why
Callum,
you
did
would
you
want to
get
keep
fucking
players.
spinach on your Subway?
I didn't even know they had spinach as an option.
They've added
Can
it
you
in.
smell
There's,
it?
there's 24 new toppings.
disappointed.
24 new toppings.
Oh,
Just
Great play by
that's some
Rashford.
great play. Just back on the point of we enjoy your interaction and stuff. We're trying something new today because obviously we can't do fan cams. We're not there, unfortunately. We put it out on Twitter. If you send us 20 second, 30 second clips of what your opinions on the games today are, who's your favourite, who's been the best player for you, what you feel like we need to improve, what was your favourite moment of the match, just send them in Stretford Paddock, DM us on Twitter, and we'll put them together. We'll get the best ones. We'll put them together on a fan cam video sort of thing, and we'll put it out at a later date. So just send them in. Obviously, hit a like on the video, and that's my little spiel done on the thing.
That was a great spiel. That was top 5 spiels of the day so far. If we can do a top 5 spiels compilation, that'll be coming out later today
I
as
reckon it's
well.
top 3.
I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah,
I don't want to ruin the
I
video.
mean, yeah,
Definitely
you don't
top
wanna
4.
go too hard on the praise too early.
No, exactly.
Get a big head.
Because there's plenty more spiels to come. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, you never know. Yeah.
United actually having a bit of the ball in the last few minutes. I think since
Do you know what?
their
It'd be
goal,
nice
they've
to
set
see us
back a
actually
bit,
attack again a little bit
Yeah,
because we did
exactly.
sit back. We allowed Tottenham a little bit of time in the sun. Let's get the second goal and win the game. Because even though it's pre-season, it doesn't actually mean anything. You still want to.
Still want to win. Still feels nice to see goals and to score.
Know what I'm saying?
nah, mate.
Yeah, they've definitely. Some of the defendings look really sloppy this second half, hasn't it? Times when
I think we're going to have to get used to that. I think the system that we play
Yeah.
is going to result in... It's like
Work hard,
what you've
play
seen with
hard.
Liverpool. Yeah. Work hard, play hard is what
Who's
we are.
who's this coming on?
Speaking of which, can I have another fucking run?
no more. We're cutting him off. You've had too many, mate.
Is it not 5 and drive? No,
Oh,
it's not 5 and drive.
Oh,
Be
no, it's
safe, lads and lasses. Allegedly. Right.
Can we actually get
Yeah,
some drinks, though?
this defense next.
Yeah,
season.
I think like when you saw what happened when Klopp came in, he
Could
had
I have
a
a
deliberate sort of system,
please? Yeah.
what he wanted to do, and defence looked a little bit shaky at times.
Those first
Yeah.
18 months under Klopp, they
Until he
can
got in some genuine quality, and I think you're going to have to go down a little bit of the same route ourselves.
Yeah, we need. See, like this here, there's too many gaps. There's.
That's why you need a
The
big
line isn't straight. The line
slab
isn't.
head.
Yeah. Slab head on there.
Slabhead.
Yeah.
Joe
right there.
Joe Brian Butaka is saying this half has slower players. It's harder to press. I think I can agree with that, especially in the
Jesse and Marcus, Angel, Angel and Jesse when we went to training were phenomenal at the
Yeah.
press, weren't they? They
Yeah,
were
they're
great.
really
I think I can
So-
say that more with in Matic. I think Matic is the one where I feel like that.
Your fucking number 6 doesn't press people.
Uh.
The press comes from the front.
Yeah. Well, I say like it's been an interesting one. I feel like Matic obviously is a bit
Oh,
slower.
that's a terrible touch.
Fred just has that kind of.
Yeah, Fred runs around like that anyway. He
Headless
runs around like that.
chicken.
I'm looking for his socks.
Yeah. You see, there's not much of a press here. This seems a bit disjointed.
Need a
and
leader like Grealish.
like that.
Shut, Rob.
Grealish.
Can we
You're not
ban?
going to be so happy when
Can we
you find
ban
out all
Rob
the work
from the
I've got to do
stream?
for you for Saturday.
Can we ban Rob from the stream if he puts any more
He's-
Aston
you
Illa
can't
propaganda
see this.
in, please?
He's laid on a sofa with his feet sticking over the
Work
edge,
hard, play
like
hard.
Homer Simpson on his day off work.
But he's
Texting in
Someone
on,
get him a donut.
He is working
and he's
on
at work, texting in on the YouTube comments.
And you're supposed to be like editing something right now.
He's meant to be editing a video, yeah.
He is, isn't he? It
He's
looks
meant to
good
be
from-
editing
looks good
top
from what I
five
saw.
Slacking.
spiels of the day, and he's not editing it.
He is doing a top 5 for Paddock.
Oh,
It
is
looked
it?
good from what I saw.
Yeah, it did look good actually. I've seen it.
Was
A
it
little
good enough
preview
for him
of
to
that.
comment on this?
Yeah, exactly.
he's confident in both his
Quinton
opinions.
Fortune would walk into this team. Quinton's a lovely lad.
Would he walk into this team?
I mean, he's in his 40s now.
All right, in 10 years. When he's 50, would he walk in Stanley Matthews style?
No, what's that Japanese football
called? To earn the
called?
respect
52.
of Roy Keane. Roy Keane is like one of the most notoriously difficult to please men I think that have ever existed. Isn't he?
Yeah.
He is a angry bunny. Can you imagine working at Subway when Roy Keane walks in?
Jeez.
What is spinach? What is that?
Would you like any sauce for it? What? Oh, fuck. No, forget it, right? So, for someone like, for Quinton Fortune, a player that's come from Spain, to earn the respect of Roy Keane, he must have done some shit in training. You know, he must have absolutely bust a gut, because Roy Keane only speaks about him in the most glowing terms, which means
you've done well.
Now, Quinton wasn't someone that was ever going to win a Ballon d'Or. He wasn't someone that scored tons of goals or really had any majorly memorable moments as a United player. But when Roy Keane goes, that's my boy there.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing
something right.
Maybe Roy Keane's actually scared of him. Quinton Fortune just maybe decked him in training once. And Roy Keane,
he's such a lovely guy. Have you seen how happy the guy is?
That's to say.
We saw him. I was at Carrington for the Pro Evo thing that we did. Just before we went away on tour, and he actually told me that we had he'd just been appointed at United as part of the 23 staff.
Yeah.
And you've never seen a guy as happy. Like, I love how he calls United we. He's an African guy that's played in Spain. Didn't play many years at United. Did win a Premier League with United.
Did he not?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah. I thought he said he didn't.
No, did win a Premier League.
I was going to say there weren't many in that era that didn't.
Yeah. And this is a guy that knows what it's all about. He's, he obviously loves coaching. He's got his own little foundation of he just does coaching anyway, like academy level coaching. So it's great to see that the club have brought him in. Obviously, we did a warm down towards the end of the season, not long after Ollie had been appointed, and he was saying stuff like, "Didn't ever feel like I'd go back to Carrington when Mourinho was there."
So sad.
It is
sad.
sad.
Oliver Twist with his bowl. Please can I come back to Carrington?
That's what the culture was like, though. That's what we heard, and now with Ollie.
It's now Jose's club.
Yeah.
And you're like, you lot can fuck off whether you played 100 games there or not.
Sure.
And when Quinny goes, look, I texted Ollie as soon as he was appointed. They played together, and he was like, brilliant to have you back, and he was like, get your ass down, come and have a brew.
Right,
and then it's just, he comes down and he chats to him. I love that. I genuinely love that.
There's a lot of talk right now. Some people are saying too focused right now on almost like United's past selves, hiring a lot of people who are related to United. And I'm assuming after hearing what you said, Howson, you're all for that. But what about you, Casey or Joe? Like, for you guys?
It can go either way, can't it?
Was bad, really.
Sure.
It can go either way, because if you hire a load of players who used to play for the team and people who know the club, that's great for morale. It's great for people. Like all these stories we hear of people coming out and saying, "I felt welcome. I felt like I could go back there." That's good. But then sometimes you need to move away from that. It just depends on whether we don't know whether this exact instance of that will work or not. You just can't. You just don't know until you know.
Yeah. One thing. That's 2 strikes, Rob. Grealish is not better than Pogba. I've seen it in the comments. Don't start that again. Secondly, it's a proven model. In terms of
to bring it serious.
Bring it back after that. But if he puts one more in, ban him.
Well, ban him. Just fucking hit him.
It's a baseball bat around.
That requires me to get up. I feel like
There's got a few empty beer bottles over there.
Doing fuck all in it. Go to him.
Yeah, delegate someone to hit him. Right, okay. No, but I feel like it's a proven model. Like everyone keeps saying, it's a bad thing that they're looking at ex-players, but Ajax have done it. Ajax have done it with Overmars, with
Barcelona
Van der
have done
Sar.
it as well.
Their CEO, is their director of football, ex-player.
Bayern Munich have done it over the years.
Yeah. So you've got one
German
extreme
clubs.
of Liverpool where it didn't really work.
Yeah.
Will, just hit that telly for us before it goes off.
Yeah.
Will?
But people are like, oh, it's because you're trying to look at Rio Ferdinand, who may have had like 1 or 2 bad opinions, and he wears like a hat indoors and sort of thing. Like, oh yeah,
That's where hat
Yeah, but
indoors.
Joe, Rio Ferdinand was one of the greatest footballers this club
exactly
seen.
like.
And I know some of the lads that were they're under 19s now, but they were under 16s at the time. And you might have seen it on social media, where Rio was just at Carrington one day and he went into the academy changing room. And it was either they just lost to City, I think, and he fucking tore them all a new arsehole. Was like, you think you could just fucking lose to City and it's going to be all right? Ripped him a new one.
That's what you need.
But I spoke to some of the players and he was like, bang on, man. Like, absolutely bang on. And you think, okay, so he can go in and he's got the respect where he can fucking rip you a new arsehole.
Sure.
And you don't, like, shut me dick. Because Rio Ferdinand was one of the best, if not one of the greatest in the Premier League era that we've ever seen, if not the number one.
Yeah.
But who's a better defender than Rio Ferdinand in the Premier League era?
No one.
Arguably Vidic for some people.
Maybe as an out-and-out defender, but in terms of defending, maybe he was. But as a defender,
I'm just stretching it. I think if you compare John Terry to Rio,
Terry, but
it's a bit of an iffy thing.
it's just the amount ticking boxes in terms of what a player can do. No one could do as much.
John
as
Terry's not
Ferdinand
even Chelsea
to the highest level.
I'd have put Desai above him.
I think in his prime, Carvalho was
Carvalho
better
above
than
him.
him.
Yeah, Carvalho was what made that Chelsea team feel.
Yeah, Carvalho was brilliant, but I think Ferdinand's the best of the lot. The best. I think he's the best centre back I've ever seen, personally, in his prime.
It's great
That I've seen play myself.
It's great with the ball at his feet as well. That was one of the things that we loved about Ferdinand.
Mateus Samba was pretty good.
I don't know.
I'm old.
True. He's old. For young people like me.
What's mad is that
young
people will say,
whippersnappers.
"Oh, Maldini was a centre half because he finished his career at centre half."
No,
he was a left
he
back.
is a quintessential left back. Apparently, his lad made his debut recently.
Did he?
Yeah,
Who
which
for? AC.
no fucking Steaua Bucharest.
Well, it might not be good enough. It's amazing how many players' kids are good enough to get in.
I
the
know. I
youth
think
teams,
he's
isn't it?
like Maldini's dad was captain, and then Maldini was captain. Now his son's captain of whatever team he's in. Like,
Yeah, and Joe, they retired the number 3, and the only people that could wear it is his
Maldini.
kids.
Oh, that's
I
great.
don't know what position he plays.
I could have a guess.
he's just
Is he not a full? Is he not a
striker.
defender?
I don't know what
You'd
position
have to
he
be a
plays.
defender.
I did. I
wouldn't you?
just read an article. and
Can someone
it
just
didn't
please
have
look
any
up
article. I
what
don't-
position Maldini's son plays, just to settle this? But
Yeah,
like,
you need to know
The
this.
chances are he's a left back.
Chances are.
Chances are he's a left back. I mean, but like, there's also chances are he's not a left back. What if he's like a right winger?
Lindelof won the ball nicely.
I mean, you've seen like all those sort of like kids come through. Like, I think in the under-21 championships, is it Hagi's son was playing. Ionis Hagi. Hagi. No, sorry. Yeah. My pronunciation
Get
of
there
players is
eventually.
Haggis. What's that? Haggis' son.
It's an animal that lives in Scotland.
Yeah, that's right.
It's got one
yeah.
leg bigger than the
You're seeing a lot more of the younger versions of like, and if these live up to the potential, like
Some do.
some of them.
Clearly do not.
some
It
of-
must be difficult as well because a lot of footballers come up through that grind.
Yeah.
Like, how easy is your life when your dad's a Premier League footballer? The motivation you've got to have to try and get to the top, like, is stifled sometimes by, if you've got a very successful old man. And you see that happens a lot. But Frank Lampard is one example of that. Like,
but also-
he's a rare example.
Because on one side, though, you've got expectation, but the other side, you've got access to facilities
Correct.
and training that no one in the world has. So
And people also give you a chance. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
look at David Beckham's kid. He was going on trial every week at QPR and Chelsea and Arsenal, all these different places that he just wouldn't have got if he was called Smith, for example.
Yeah.
what's wrong with that?
I was using you as an example.
What's wrong with
Jesus.
what about what if his name was Howson? Would he have got?
Such a fake name, Joe Smith.
It's not a
I
fake
know
name,
it.
actually.
It's definitely
so-
like,
Yeah.
Didn't you get added to a WhatsApp group of 35 Joe Smiths the other day?
Yeah,
There's
I did,
only
actually. You can
35.
check that out on my Instagram story if anyone wants to follow me at Joe Smith 93. I was added to a group chat that was just 35 people called Joe Smith, and then one bloke called
that's good
Maxie.
play.
Oh, what?
Oh, that's
What?
great.
Give it.
Gomez!
He should have passed it, but what a
Should have passed
fucking
it.
goal that
That
was.
was a lovely goal.
Angel, yes, lad.
Should he have passed it if he was right there at that opportunity?
Gazaniga just looks completely and utterly
I think
done
we're
with
so
that.
scared at this point when
Well-
United players take it forward that they're taking it a step
That was a
too
brilliant
far. But
fucking
right there, he
goal.
did
That was
great.
an
Yeah, it was
absolute
some
goal.
great
I think he
interplay
deserves a
there.
new rum and coke.
Rum and Cokes for all round for that goal, please.
Another round.
He's really impressed me pre-season, Gomez.
Maldini's son's an attacking mid. There you go. Cheers, Alex. So made his debut. Was it this weekend he made his debut? Or did I just imagine it?
Are we just going to wait for him to reply?
Yeah.
What an imagination that is.
Yeah.
I just had a dream last night that Maldini's,
Maldini's son made his debut
debut.
this weekend.
What a great dream.
Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. All right, sweet.
It was some great interplay. I just want to see who it was with. Was it?
So it's Gomez to
Gomez
Mata.
to Mata, and no one goes to him apart from Alderweireld. Does he meg him? Is this a meg? Is this a meg for a goal?
Oh, I think it was.
may
Sort
be
of
a
under
meg.
his foot, is it?
This angle will show us.
I think so.
No, it
It
won't.
doesn't show us. I think it goes under his foot.
These camera angles for the replays have been questionable in showing us what we want to see. Yeah.
Terrific. That was a right goal.
Yeah, it was a nice goal.
Congratulations,
Good
our
son.
kid.
2-1.
Proud of you. That's another goal scored or assisted by an academy graduate.
My 2-1 prediction is looking quite nice right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm
I mean,
17-2 as well.
17-2 would be an interesting one
10
at this
minutes is
point.
going to be interesting if we have 17-2.
This is the Academy's pre-season, isn't it? We've seen all of them step up.
I mean, it's better than last year where Jose was like, these kids are shit, I got no players.
I mean, I hope I haven't just
Tottenham
spoken
just
to
ripped us a new one there with
Yeah.
some brilliant passing. Luke Shaw clears it for a corner.
Yeah, it's amazing how when you call a team crap pre-season, they start to play a bit crap, don't they?
Well, yeah, all the centre halves, you're like, I need new centre halves, and then the centre halves confidence was lacking.
And then we beat Real Madrid in the pre-season. We're like, oh, we're gonna win the league. Then we lose like 5-1.
Sean Saville in the
against
comments.
Liverpool.
Does anyone else think Gomez is class? Yeah, well, they should.
Obviously.
What's your opinion on Angel? I keep saying Angel. Sorry, Angel.
Say Angel if you want to say Angel.
No, I'm going to say Angel.
Makes him sound like he's
I'm gonna
not
respect
saying
it.
it wrong.
I've been told off for saying it
Angel.
wrong. I'm going to say Angel.
Angel.
Do you think he should go out on loan, or do you think he should stay within the United setup?
I spoke to someone at the club and went.
Big man.
We was talking about Bruno, and he goes,
Frank
I said, is
Bruno.
there anything in this Bruno shit or what? And he was like, not really. And I went, I've got an idea. And he went, what's your idea? And I said, why don't you just go get him and then like send him Angel on loan for a year? And he went, that is a good idea. He's like, we're not getting Gomez. We're not getting Fernandez. So I was like, all right,
I
cool.
like that part of the idea was, why don't you just go get him?
Yeah.
Like he's like a Freddo from the shop or something.
Go
Go get us
fucking around.
It's like
Get us
£1.50 now.
To be
isn't
fair,
it?
Get me a
To be
Fernandez,
fair, he's
will
been
ya?
telling someone to go and get milk, rum and coke for the last 20 minutes. So it's
Can
Can I
like,
get a Fernandez, please?
Fucking Christ.
Oh God, he's
no, but I feel like for Angel, I feel like a full season of first team football would do him really good. Especially, I was saying,
Rob's just said I went for a wee who
Who
scored.
scored the MVP?
United did.
Grealish did.
Romero.
It was Gomez.
Gomez.
It was filth.
Yeah, it was a lovely goal.
Probably
But I feel
better
like
than Jack Grealish could do.
because especially in like the Championship, because I've been said on a couple of podcasts, the Championship in terms of attacking midfielders has greatly improved. Like Maddison came from Norwich with very good statistics and then made
Championship's a great league.
over
a
100
great
chances. And there's one there that I'm surprised hasn't been picked up. Ben Rama from Brentford. He's been exceptional for Brentford. And
It's offside, surely, right?
offside,
Come on,
yeah.
Marcus. Finish that though. Yes! Is it off though?
No,
I
he's
think
off.
it's
Yeah,
off.
he's
off. Oh, it was off.
Nice finish.
Fucking boo.
That was a very delayed offside.
Yeah.
But
nice finish from Marcus.
I think
But
it was called
the
a few
keeper didn't
seconds
fucking
before
move.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to have a shot.
Which is
didn't he?
good.
He was
Sometimes it's
offside the whole
better.
time.
Thank God, is he? Is this,
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
this,
he's offside.
Is this little fucker here that might have been playing
Near
well?
post?
It was a good finish.
Near side.
It was a good finish.
Yeah, it was nice.
But it was offside. 17-2, slipping out the window as it goes along here.
Yeah, I think we could.
Not too far away.
Oh, fuck off, Tottenham. Jesus Christ. Someone's just gone to ground as Tuan Zabi's just literally about to clear it. Like, no fucking need. Was that Lamella? Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That was the first half, though, wasn't it?
Ball back.
yeah, this half's been a lot less rough and aggressive than the first half, hasn't it?
Well,
Sean Saville in the comments
Players
says, guys'
changed.
opinions on first/second half team. This is closer to what I would assume is a starting 11.
Do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
The
closer
midfield,
to
though.
it. Yeah, but obviously, I think you're going to see Pogba.
Yeah.
I think that goes without saying. I think you'll see De Gea and Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
But this feels...
Yeah,
Well,
Rashford
no, it
and
actually is,
Lingard
right,
and yeah.
It's been the poorer of the two sides, though, I think.
Yeah,
definitely. By far.
I think the midfield looks to me like we get Matic is being bypassed a lot of the time. His legs just aren't
He
there.
hasn't. He's been one of the worst performers of pre-season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he hasn't really shown anything when he's come on. And when he has come on, he's shown the deficits in the team. Like you've not noticed he's been making mistakes, but you've noticed that it's not McTominay anymore. And
Yeah.
it's not someone who's running after the ball.
Scott McTominay and not McTominay. They're the two midfielders we've got.
Mixed sauce.
It's weird because Matic was
Oh,
so good
God,
that
that
first
was awful.
season when he came. And then it's just slowly...
Aged.
The amount of things that he is able to do in a game has slowly just
He also
declined
got-
and
he
declined.
He was brought in as a Jose Mourinho player.
Signed.
Yeah. So he's going to be playing what Jose Mourinho wants. He was someone that is fitting what Jose Mourinho thinks he wants.
In that first season, he was great. Second season, fell off. This year, I think we're going to see him on a bench more than starting,
We've
hopefully.
got some comments. We've got a YouTube comment from Cameron Waters on the
Oh,
ones and twos behind
dear.
the camera there, so he's obviously being a dick. What is the difference between a llama and an alpaca?
One's called a llama, one's called an alpaca. Next
So
question.
It's the weight. It's the height and the weight.
Yeah.
One of them's about 400 pounds. That's
Yeah.
what we call a big boy.
That's a llama,
And
isn't
one spits.
Yeah. I think that's the
Yeah.
llama. The llama's the big one. Alpacas are a small
it?
one.
Alpacas are smaller.
Now, alpacas spit, don't they? I don't know if
I think they
llamas
all
do.
I think they're
spit.
both.
One's got a
spit.
flat face and like banana-shaped ears.
Spit-
That's
Spitters
your
are-
alpaca.
spitters
And
are
then your
quitters.
llama, it's almost like a camel's face with a giraffe's neck and
you do a
the
llama
wool
nose?
of a sheep. Huh?
Not gonna lie, I did
Llama
not
nose?
know I was sitting next to llama and
Yes.
alpaca expert. So yeah,
No! Like that. So that's your basic difference between the two there.
Yeah, listen, for more alpaca and llama talk, make sure to tune in.
Any
to
farmyard
Stretford Paddock,
animals.
your new favourite.
Make sure to
United
subscribe.
channel.
Yeah, any farmyard animals. If you want to know the difference between a cockerel and a rooster, for instance, come to us.
What is the difference between a cockerel and a rooster?
I'm so glad
One's
you
got a
asked,
cock,
Stephen.
one doesn't.
The difference is it's the flappy bit. Cockerel, rooster.
Oh,
Simple as that, mate. Yeah. That really is it. We've got the Mad Mafia.
The Mafia.
This young lad definitely deserves a chance. Him and Chong are the future of this team. It's time to play and nurture them. I assume he's talking about Angel Gomez there.
Yeah.
I think I agree. I think this pre-season that he's done himself absolutely no problems at all. He's, in terms of starting for United, maybe he's not going to start, but I think he's definitely shown that he has a lot to offer. And like we said, the way he was pressing in training, the way that he's shown himself to have some more quality than a lot of the other players on the ball.
I agree.
I think he's definitely playing something.
Wait.
What's happened?
Rob says, my brother works with alpacas if you want more detailed analysis.
Rob, get in here.
Exclusive interview for the Paddock podcast.
That isn't true, is it?
I don't know, is it?
And also, you can
Aren't
have
they native to Peru?
That's the alpaca.
So why are they in Shrewsbury?
I'm pretty sure that
I think it's very much a wool-based industry, isn't it? Milk and wool. So,
I'm pretty sure
both things needed in
Do they have them
Shrewsbury.
in petting zoos?
Yeah, you get one in there.
I don't know.
Get your comments in. Any more animal-related?
If you guys know anything about llamas or alpacas, comment below.
Where is Chongi? It's not a bad shout, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not come on. He looked good against Inter. Maybe he's
Bryn Chaser says, this wasn't the Paddock talk I was expecting, but it is the Paddock talk that you are getting.
Yeah. Llamas live in paddocks as well, don't they? Like a nice little penned-off area, so it all makes sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
This isn't
somehow
the Paddock talk
makes
anymore. This is the
sense.
llama talk.
When a cockerel is part of a group of hens, it is encouraged It encourages egg laying. That is a rooster, apparently. That's according to Ross there.
Jacob says he once met an alpaca called Lewis. Sean says, Steve, if you would change the lineup of the second half, who would I change? I'd bring in Wan-Bissaka for Delo. I'd bring in, I do like Romero. I like everything about him. I think the fact he was like, Argentina are like, you need to leave, mate, otherwise you're not going to the World Cup. He was like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I love the attitude.
I'll stay here. You're not going to win anyway.
Play for United.
Yeah.
Yes. Happy days.
not gonna win.
So I bring in De Gea for Romero. I would probably bring in Pogba for Matic, because I think Pogba and Fred might be able to do it, because Fred's shown a lot of... Basically, he's wiping Matic's arse all day today.
Yeah.
I would probably bring in...
Wan-Bissaka for Delo.
McTominay, maybe?
Quite an obvious one.
Someone to have a bit more defensive.
Do you know what? Pereira impressed me in the first half, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he's a bit more versatile. I want to play Mata. Mata would be my number 10 of choice if we was just to go
Over Lingard.
right now. Yeah, and I'm probably going to bring in Rashford over James on that left. I don't know who to play on the left out of Marshall and Marcus. Maybe you roll...
No looking for Sanchez on that side.
And Sanchez is still a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how...
Where is he? Is he injured? Where are you, Sanchez? Where is he though? Do we know what's up with Sanchez? Is he injured?
Now, let me just
If anyone
message him
knows where
right
he
now.
is, please send it.
Isn't he? He's injured right now, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Listen, tweet us if you've seen Alexis Sanchez. I want to see, even if it's like a half glance of him on a bus. There he is.
There he is, that was him.
I want to see all of your photos.
The sand.
Where's Alexis?
I had a rumour he was
Tom,
working at
knock
Taco
up a
Bell in the
graphic.
Arndale Centre.
Where's Wally,
I mean,
but
to be
with
fair, we
Sanchez?
should
Go
know
on,
because
do
we
it.
get a lot of Taco Bell here.
Yeah, we do.
You want something to do.
We've got Delia Smith
Hey,
impressions
listen,
going on behind the
thank
camera.
you
which is putting
guys
everyone
for
off.
joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the chat with everything that's been going on with Paddock. We do normally like to do a Start 11 video, but there was technical issues today.
Yeah.
We didn't have internet this morning, right? We got internet now. Like I said earlier, shout out to Telecom. They absolutely smashed it for us. And go fuck yourself, Virgin.
That was a
'Cause you
very
did not
wayward
sort
shot.
us and you
I
nearly
saw.
caused us not to have a stream today, so sling it. But make sure to subscribe if you're new around here. We'll be going live again, probably in about 10 or 15 minutes, once we've had a quick look at all the data and everything like that, and we'll be giving you a quick match review. Make sure to send in your little 20-second match reviews as well over on Twitter to Stretford Paddock with hashtag Paddock Live. Get them in as soon as you can after the match. And we've got everything else going on as well. Everything else going on. Loads of top fives coming out, which Rob's doing in there, hopefully.
Nah, he's still
And then we'll be with you for the Christiansson game as well with another watch along. So please come and join us for that. Like I said, make sure to subscribe if you're new around here and hit that like button if you've enjoyed the coverage that we've had. Can we get 200 likes before the stream ends? Because we're on 198.
200 there we go.
200 now.
Oh, there we go. I'll shut up then. We get 250. There's like 600 and something watching. We can get 250, can't
Come
we?
on, everyone like the video.
Hit the like button.
Yeah.
Hit the like button.
Apparently, according to Punjab and Geovagan, Sanchez is counting his money. So,
fair.
pretty-
He's living
it's
life.
In fact, no wonder he's busy. We have to bring in players who can bring stability in the middle field and at the back.
Middle field.
Sean says, brilliant channel, lads. Keep it up. Thank you, brother. Sanchez is farming alpacas in Chile. Alpacas aren't even in Chile, mate. What are you on about? It's Peru. Mixing up with South American countries.
Get it right.
Just seen Sanchez in Nando's.
Oh, yeah. Will Ollie actually play in the youth in the league? That's another.
Well, we'll find out.
I don't think he's going to have
because,
much
like,
choice.
have they let him down? Not at all.
No.
So I think that they've earned the right if they get the opportunity. We'll find out.
Certainly, Mason's been talked about in those terms, hasn't he? Pre-season.
Yeah, I think he's. We did something with a sportsman yesterday, and he was talking about the odds of him actually starting. I think it's 9-4 for him to start
against Chelsea.
Yes, and 47 for him not to start, or the other way around. I don't think he'll start. I think he comes off the bench.
I think he's certainly going to get minutes.
I think you probably see Jesse play just for that more defensive attribute that he brings at first, and then you bring Mason on a little bit later on.
Yeah,
and absolutely tear him up, and possibly even get the winner because I think he's that level of player.
Yeah, he's it's easy to forget he's at least a year younger than everyone else who's coming through as well, isn't he?
Oh, Jesus.
Header from,
that was a maximum effort dive there from Romero as well, wasn't it? It was like, this is for the camera.
Stretch the legs. Yeah, it's easy to forget Mason's at least a year younger than everyone else who's coming through in this sort of like flurry of players. So he's got a lot of time on his hands.
Okay,
I think.
I saw Mason at 13, and the two lads that took me to the game, they was like, I heard them say something like, see how long it takes, and I had no idea what they were on about. About 6 minutes into the game, went, who's in there, number 7? And they went, didn't think it'd be that quick. And I was like, what? And it was like, we just said, like, see how long it takes you to clock how good he is.
How good he is.
So he was playing under 16s, he was 13. And at the time, I said, like, there's a kid coming through. I just didn't want to name him because I didn't want to put that on him. But it was Mason Greenwood, and he was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like playing, 13 years of age, playing under 16s, and stand out the best player.
Yeah.
And we couldn't wait for him to get into the 18s. When he did get into the 18s, he was sensational.
Yep. Yeah.
Right, that is it. The game is over. 2-1. Listen, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to smash that like button. And we'll be back with you in about 10 or 15 minutes. So make sure to put the notifications on as well. Get your questions ready as well, because we will do a Q&A little section in this. And we'll see you in about 10-15 minutes.
See you guys.